National Prime Rib Day. Tasty, tasty. Hello, hello, hello. It is Monday. Hello, Wolfie and Wolfie Raiders. Welcome. You will see me in a moment. Right now you are seeing me slip. I promise you will see me in a moment. Give me a moment. You will know. You will see. Once I press. Let me just press the EGGY button. Hold on. Just making sure the BGM is going. Very cute starting soon screen. Thank you. But here we go. Here we go. I have pressed the EGGY button. You may now see the egg. You may now see the egg. But yes, welcome. Hello. I am NiceEggy. I am nice and I'm an eggy. And tonight we are zhonging. But usually we also do other things. Lately I've been playing Zelda on Wednesday, and I've been meaning to do a hand cam stream for ages, but something else keeps coming up. Hello. But yes, thank you, Wolfie. I hope you had a nice and good stream. Were you having prime ribs? Or were you looking up holidays and that's what today happened to be? Is it tasty? I did not have prime ribs today. I had frozen yogurt. It was tasty. I don't think it's not related, but it was yummy. But yes, yes. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, hi, hi. Hello, hello, hello. But yes, this evening I finished my Nanograms game and then looked through my games list to find games to play. Ah, okay. Do you have a Steam library full of unplayed games? Like, is it like 100 plus things that you bought on sale and then like didn't touch? Because like I am also and Epic, and oh yeah, I don't think I have an Epic. I've never bought anything on Epic Games, but I'm sure if I did, I would also have another library. I think I've bought a few things on GOG, but they were all things that you can get on Steam. Oh, thank you to whoever did the shout out. Thank you. Yeah, they were all things I think you could just get on Steam anyway. So I don't think I think I might have like one game in my library. I don't even remember which one it is. Yeah. Nobody buys anything on Epic Games, they just download free games. Oh yeah, isn't Epic the one that you need to have to like launch Fortnite? I know that the Epic Game Store does have exclusives. I just like don't know off the top of my head which ones they are other than Fortnite. Yes, okay, it is Fortnite. It is the Fortnite store. Yeah, Epic gives away free games. Oh yeah, they do that. No, I know they have exclusives. I just don't know what they are. But yes, thank you too. Whithiple, thank you for sprouting, and to thank you, Benjamin. Thank you, Benjamin. But yeah, the entire store is funded by Fortnite. Ah, yes, it's the Fortnite store. The Fortnite store. No, I don't think I've ever played Fortnite. I remember like several years back, there was one summer where I was working at a summer camp, and there was like a lot of kids who were into Fortnite at the time, and I said I should study Fortnite. Like not like even play Fortnite, but just like study myself so I'm familiar with it. So if the kids want to talk about it, then I have something to say. But then I never did. I never did. It fell off this year. I don't know. Is it like one of those things where everyone seems to think that like the heyday of it was like perpetually about 3 or 4 years ago? Because, like, I know it's like that with a lot of things, I feel. Like, I remember when I was into K-pop, like, everyone would talk about the Golden Age. The Golden Age was perpetually about 7 years ago. Like, it doesn't matter when it is now. The Golden Age was about 7 years ago. Yeah. Reddit has its own user-generated content games now, like Roblox. Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. They've added, like, a bajillion things, I know. I know that they've added new stuff. But I have not played it. I don't know if I would ever play it. I don't know what it would take to get me to play it. But yeah, I have purchased games. I have purchased games in the near future. Because like I know Steam had a sale on a bunch of stuff recently because it was like Golden Week, I think, in Japan. So I know that a lot of Japanese game publishers had their stuff on sale. So I did pick up one thing, and that was it. I now own BlazBlue, which I don't know when I'm going to play that, but I know everybody was asking me to buy it, so I have that in my library now, I guess. Yeah. Yes, I actually did buy it now. I don't know when I'm going to play it, but I have it. I have it. I don't know what to do, because you guys were asking me to buy fighting games, but I'm like, when am I going to buy fighting like... I don't have... I'm on Wi-Fi. Isn't like the whole thing with fighting games that everybody hates when you play them on Wi-Fi because then there's like a tiny, tiny bit of lag and it messes with stuff? Will people hate me if I actually play this game? Will people hate me for it? Play it during Euro-friendly times. I am now obligated to stream it at about 10 in the morning. EST. Is it EDT? EST now? Yeah. EGGY doesn't seem like a fighting game to have. Well, I think it was brought up because I mentioned a while back. I think I was playing... I don't remember what I was playing. But I was talking about how, like... I like in video games when you can press the buttons good and that makes you good at the game. Like, I'm like, I don't want a game where I need to make a build. What is a build? I don't want to make a build. I don't want to have to level up my items. I want a game where I press the buttons good and that makes me good at the game. Because I'm like, there's been so many games where I'm like, why do I keep losing to this enemy, to this boss? And then and then people are like, hey, can I see your gear? And then it's like, oh yeah, oops, haven't updated my gear since like the beginning of the game. So, yeah. Yeah. Playing any online game on Wi-Fi causes cancer. I hate wireless technology. I mean, I guess to be fair, I don't play a lot of online competitive stuff in general. Like, outside of Zhong, really. But Zhong, you don't really need, like, reflexes for Zhong, right? Like, Mahjong is not a test of reflexes. At least not if you're playing it the normal way, right? Yeah, if you're playing casuals, people don't care that badly. On the other hand, can a 50 to 100 foot Cat 6 cable fix your issue? I don't know, because it would have to be a really long cable. I'm trying to think. I would have to do some nonsense. I would have to do some nonsense because technically I am the closest I can be inside the house to where the router is without being on the same floor because like my computer's in the basement. But I don't know. I guess if he tried to, is there even a vent in my room that goes? I guess not. Oh wait, no, there is. Oh wait, no, that would have to be some nonsense though. Okay. It would be a project. It would be a project and it would probably look really ugly. Because I think what I would have to do is I would have to like plug a really long Ethernet cord into... I don't even know if that vent leads up there though. Essentially I would have to probably snake a cord through the vent and then tape it along the ceiling to the back of the room where it will then be brought down and, you know, I can plug it into my PC. That would be some nonsense. That would be a whole project. That would be a whole project. Yeah. Yeah, I lose interest in something as soon as it's competitive. I mean, for me, it's more just like, with a lot of games, I've just never played them competitively. I think anything with like voice or text chat, I'm kind of turned off by. Because of course, like, I guess Mahjong Soul technically has DMs, but I don't think a lot of people DM you like during the game, right? Like usually it's after. Usually, like, Mahjong Soul is fine. I like it because the only communication you can really do during the game is like the stickers, like the stamps, the emotes. So, yeah, I feel like usually it's fine, but like anything with voice chat, I fail to understand why anybody would play that. I'd be scared to play anything with voice chat. I know you can turn voice chat off, but it's like, I mean, I guess if you're playing with friends, it's fine. I don't know. It sounds scary. It sounds scary. But yeah, it's really fun to play with voice chat. I don't know. I guess maybe if it's like a solo game versus a team game thing. Because usually what I'm scared of is like I think it's another reason I don't play a lot of like FPS games because I'm scared of like, you know, like if you're on a team, like FPS games that put you on teams and then like if somebody on your team kind of sucks and then you are now have people yelling at you. That's what that's what I'm scared of, as opposed to like, because it's one thing if your opponent is raging at you, but I feel like it's different if your teammates are raging at you. Yeah, to be fair, I'm a guy. Yeah, that's an element too. That's an element too. That's an element as well. But yeah. There's little cable clamps that let you run cables pretty cleanly against where the floor and wall meet. It's a project about wired connections, especially for desktops, would be a big quality of life improvement, not only for games, but for lots of things. Yeah, I mean, I used to have, before I moved here, I used to have one of those power line connections. You know the one where you, like, plug something into a wall? Like, you have, like, the internet cable, and then you plug that into the wall, and then you have, like, a plug on a different part of the house, and then you can, like, basically plug... Basically, you're getting Ethernet from the electric plugs. I have no idea how it works, but, yeah. So, I did have that, and it worked pretty well, but I don't know if that works here, because I have no clue how any of the electrical stuff in this house is set up. I'm worried I'm gonna, like, buy one. I'm gonna buy, like, a power line thing, and I'm gonna set it up, and it's just not gonna work, because, yeah, they're a bit house dependent. My concern is that my grandpa, I think, was the one who was doing a lot of... Because he was, like, a very handy guy. And he did a lot of the, like... I think he might have done probably stuff with the electrical stuff in the house. But unfortunately, he passed away a few years ago. So if there's a problem, then I have no idea, like, how I would go about fixing that. So... yeah, that's why I'm just like, it could work, but I'm not 100% sure because I don't know exactly. Because, like, again, it worked in previous EGGY house. It worked very well, but I have no idea if it would work either. Yeah, if someone has electric, Cat 5 internet cable isn't that complicated, but yeah. Yeah, it's... I mean, I know at one point we also discussed having like a second like Ethernet port in the house. Because I remember at that point we were talking about how like if I was to work from home. Oh, thank you, Yellow Wash 510. Thank you for sprouting. Yeah, if I was if I was to work from home, I would need like faster internet, and I know so we had well, at some point we had considered getting a like a second one put in, but we'd have to call the phone provider guys for that. And I don't feel like struggling with that again. Didn't realize I wasn't already following. That's okay, that happens to me a lot too. It's kind of embarrassing because it keeps happening to me whenever I like raid somebody. Where someone's like, oh yeah, this person is live. You should go raid them. And I'm like, no, they're not. And it turns out they are live. I just was not following them. And then I follow. And it's always the worst when it happens with somebody that you already know. It's always the worst for that. But yeah. It would be a whole project. And I don't feel like after the events of last September, I don't feel like calling I don't feel like having any more people come to mess with our phone and internet. I've had enough of that. I was without internet for like several weeks. And I had enough. I simply had enough. It's okay, I've heard of someone only realizing that they weren't following until after their VTuber graduated. Well, like, is it possible to be subscribed on Twitch but not follow? Like, is it possible? I mean, I guess maybe if it was like a gift sub. Hello from YouTube. Oh, hello, Taishi. Oh, I had it set to chop chat, so I need to change it to live chat. Hello, Taishi, and also hello, Arian. Arian? Hello. But, yes. Is YouTube chat merged? Shh. They don't need to know that. They don't need to know that. Yes. I can sub myself to a channel I'm not following it. Yeah, I figured, yeah. Eggy, you can merge it. Oh, right. Well, I don't know. I feel like they changed the rules for that like a couple times. And also, I think, wasn't the rules at some point also different for like Twitch partners versus affiliates or like, I know they've shuffled up the rules a few times and I don't actually know where they're at anymore, but I just like, I just pretend I do not see it. I pretend I do not see it because I haven't figured out a way to consistently get both chats on the screen separately. They are merged because I haven't been able to. But yeah, it's okay to merge now more or less. Yeah, I guess I'm not a partner. I'm not a partner. Maybe someday, but not at the moment. So I don't think it affects me, probably. I think. Maybe. Yeah. I find it interesting how some people aren't following if they consistently show up for a stream, but I guess they get the alert somewhere else. Yeah, well, I mean, I guess maybe if you get, like, because, like, for me, right, on Discord, right, if you're in the Discord server, then, like, there's automatically a ping every time I go live, right? So I imagine, like, if you were in something like that, where you get, like, a ping every time they're live, then you don't really need the Twitch notifications, and I think some people just turn them off anyway. And then I guess maybe if you were consistently subscribed, and you can be subscribed without following, then, like, yeah, I guess you could, like, be there for all of your Oshi's career and just never actually follow. It is possible. I could see how it could be possible. I don't know if it's possible on YouTube, because I guess I've never tried to, like, join the membership for a channel I wasn't following. So I'm not really sure how that works, but, yeah. Yeah, so long as the streaming quality on YouTube is worse, you're fine. I don't know, is it? I think it's streaming from the same source. There's like an OBS plugin that basically, I guess, just channels the stream in like two separate directions. So I can be live in both places at once. But yeah, I haven't figured out how to split the chats yet. That's the problem. Because I think, whatever chat thing I was using for Chatbox, it just automatically takes the chats from wherever it is that you're streaming. So if you're streaming in two places, it just takes from 2 places. I don't, I haven't figured out how to undo that. I might need to switch to something different for the chat box if I would need to separate them. But yeah. Yeah. I can say actually the stream experience on Twitch is slightly better because sometimes on YouTube I forget to press go live. Because, like, okay, if you stream on YouTube, you know, so when you go live on Twitch, right, usually you connect your OBS, you connect OBS to your Twitch account, right? And then you just press go live in OBS, and you are now live on Twitch, right? Whereas on YouTube, there's like a couple additional steps, because I guess you can like schedule streams. So if you're streaming for a scheduled stream, then like it has to make sure that it's like sending, like you're streaming with the right stream. So on YouTube, there's like an additional, you can set up so you don't have to press the button on YouTube. Well, I mean, on one hand, the thing is that I understand why the button is there, because if you have multiple like scheduled streams, it's trying, basically it exists to make sure that you're going live with the correct scheduled stream, right? But like, it is kind of annoying. Yeah, I don't know, distribute YouTube first and Twitch is secondary output. I guess I could do that. But again, I also have figured out for the chat docs, like to have chat docked in OBS. For some reason, every time I change for YouTube, I have to put in a new like URL source to be able to see YouTube chat in OBS, which is a little annoying, but there are probably better ways to do it, and I'm sure if I ask somebody, I'm sure I'd figure it out. Yeah, YouTube stream chatting, be like, oh, I'm responding to the stream 1 hour behind. Oh yeah, I think that's a thing you can turn off. Of like people like going back. But yeah, it is kind of annoying that it's a thing that like you don't know right off the bat. You know, item stream suite. I have not used it, no. The one I use, I think it's just like a regular OBS plugin, and it is called, I think it's literally just called Multi-Stream. Like, I think if you Google like Multi-Stream OBS plugin, I think it's like the first one that comes up. I don't think it has, yeah. I think, let's see. Tools, plugin manager. OBS Multi RTMP is what it is called. Yeah. It's DVR or whatever, you can turn it off and on. Yeah, it is useful, but it's like, if you jump into a stream and you don't realize that you're like behind, then it's like, oops. Yeah. I just made that first and then made stream suite. Ah, okay. I mean, I can look into it. Because, like, again, this is what I was told to use. So I know many people who multi-stream to both YouTube and Twitch, but I don't know exactly what each of them are using. Because, again, it can't be that complicated if this many people can do it. But then again, I also feel that way with a lot of things in VTubing, where it's like, it can't be that complicated if this many people are doing it, right? I think maybe, one thing I think I have noticed about myself, though, is that, like, the threshold, I feel like the longer I stream, the threshold of what I consider complicated has, like, decreased a little. Because, like, obviously there's certain things, like, if you have, like, 5 programs running, you have to remember to open all of them, which I frequently don't, but, I don't know. I guess some people would think that setting up a live 2D model is complicated. Or, you know, making scenes in OBS is complicated. And I used to be like, yeah, that's a lot of work just for, like, something very basic. But now I feel like I'm like, the threshold of complicated has very much gotten smaller. It's smaller now. Small. But yeah, nothing is complicated if you're willing to put in the time. Well, I mean, I think it's not just complicated, it's also due to, like, what you get used to, right? Because, like, at the beginning, I guess it's like maybe, like, reading music or anything else, where it's like, if you don't know what you're doing, everything is complicated, but, like, once you know what you're doing, you're like, okay, yeah, that's pretty easy. Yeah. The only part I don't like is some VTube models basically require dedicated PC if you play any AAA games. Yeah, I think that's like a more recent thing. Like, weak PC is actually one of the reasons why I haven't updated my models since like 2023. Just because, like, you know, my model might not be the most fluid on Earth because, again, the rigging it's been like 3 years since the rigging's been touched at all. But on the other hand, my computer can pretty consistently run it, right? So I usually don't have to deal with like lag and stuff. But like lately I've been experimenting with some pre-made models, like, you know, like the customizable ones. And some of them are usable, and some of them are very much not. Some of them I feel I get very laggy. Like, I would not be able to really use them for stream because, at least not until I upgrade my PC, because like it would be very, very difficult. Very difficult. But yeah. After using a console, but PC is definitely more flexible. Yeah, again, there's some games as well that aren't on any console. Like, the only console I have right now is the Switch. And so if a game is not on Switch, then I'm like, there's games I want to play. But my computer will need to be strong enough for them. One day I will stream Blueprints. It will happen. There we go. I had like put my water down and I almost like put it on top of something that would have knocked it over. Cool and good. But yeah, I guess maybe rigging for live 2D models has gotten more complicated, but I feel like, is Blueprints heavy? It's not heavy, but it's much heavier than you think it would be. It's like, I think the Steam listing says like recommended was like 16 gigabytes of RAM, which is a lot, which is a lot for what it is, I think. Meowsers indeed. Yeah, it's normal, yeah. Well, I think it's also, I mean, to be fair, I'm used to playing like visual novels that are like, you know, so graphically, they're like about as graphically intensive as like a Microsoft Word file. So like a lot of some of it is, yeah. I think it depends on how many parts you're using. I think for live 2D it's also like a physics thing too, because like I feel like the ones that tend to cause the most lag are the ones with like super bouncy, like everything is like super bouncy all the time kind of thing. So I think physics is definitely like an issue. There are ways you can lighten the load. So doing face tracking with a webcam takes, like, it's heavier on the PC than if you stream with like a phone. Currently I'm using webcam, but that's because my current phone for some reason is like completely incompatible with VTube Studio, despite it being like, I just bought it like last year. Hello, Tristy, welcome. Hello. I think I saw you earlier. You were zhonging as well, right? You were zhonging. Everyone is zhonging because it's zhong day, because I said so. Good evening. I think, are they stuck in the ad zone? I think they might be stuck in the ad zone. But yes, welcome. I think I saw you zhonging. You were zhonging. But I am NiceEggy. I am nice, and I'm an eggy. And tonight, we are zhonging. I also stream other things. I stream Zelda on Wednesdays. But today is not Wednesday. Today is Monday. Thank you, Izild. Thank you for spreading. Thank you. Yes, do you play games on full screen? Well, it depends on the game. Hi, Eggy, I brought the Mahjong train. Mahjong train! Zhong to Zhong connection. Zhong to Zhong communication. Yeah. People use iPhone a lot, but it works on Android. Weird that your phone didn't work with VTube Studio. Might need to ask NT on that one. Mine is actually, I know there's a lot of, actually, if you look on the Google Play Store, there are a number of reviews about this, because the phone I have right now is it's like a new Samsung from like last year. But for whatever reason, VTube Studio is just like not compatible with certain recent Samsung models. And I guess there just hasn't been that big of a push. Like, compared to, because I guess you're right, like most people use iPhone, but yeah. Hello, I'm New. Hi, New. I'm Eggy. Yeah, I have a Samsung too. Yeah, well, it's like my old phone was also a Samsung, and VTube Studio ran fine on that. So I don't know why VTube Studio doesn't run on this one at all. Yeah, VTube Studio on Android is busted. Yeah, but at least it worked. That was the thing. It was busted, but it worked, and I could I could stream and not have to use my webcam for it. Yeah. But yeah, I have a Samsung too. Yeah, because like I think the one I have is Samsung something FE. I'm trying to remember the year. It's like 2024 or 2025. It's a recent one. Let me see. What are you called? What are you called? About phone. What are you? Yeah, Samsung S24 FE. Galaxy S24 FE. So yeah, it's a pretty recent one. So I don't know, S22? Nope, S24. I think my old one was like an A51, I think. I think that was the old one. And it worked fine on that one. But yeah, for some reason this one doesn't. Strange and unusual. Strange and unusual. But I think it is Zhong time. Well, it's maybe not time to Zhong, but it's time to go to Zhong. We are going to Zhong. I think I need to turn on... I'm going to turn on the Zhong music today, actually. And we will be gaming. Are you guys hearing the Zhong music? Is the Zhong music of appropriate volume? Because, like I said, today is a special edition. Today is a special edition. So, I have been, as a part of Mahjong Soul's creator incentive program, I have been blessed with things that I can use to show everybody the Sword Art Online gacha. So, that you may have seen, you may have noticed that the stream is marked as sponsored. So yes, I have been provided, I have been given some important gifts, and hopefully we are going to get something out of that. But yes, thank you Yostar, thank you Mahjong Soul. I am happy to tell everyone to go and download your game and to play your event. If you die on the Mahjong, they take your soul. If you die in Mahjong, you die in real life. I already got my lucky bag drop from watching Tristy, so I need something to sweeten the pot. True, yeah. If you're watching on YouTube, if you happen to have a Twitch account, I would recommend also watching on Twitch, because right now they have drops going. So if you watch somebody who's streaming Mahjong Soul, such as NiceEggy, for instance, you will get rewards. I can't remember what the rewards are off the top of my head, but you do get rewards right now. I have enabled the drops. I think this is the first time I've actually streamed a game that actually had drops. I feel like usually the kinds of games that have drops usually are like ones that I don't stream. I think this is the first time that actually... this is the first time. Like, I've had drops enabled this whole time. I just never played anything that had drops. Yeah, don't Joe streamers part of the program supposed to have the cat paw next to the username, or is that something else? You're correct. I think there's a certain amount of... not seniority. Because I did see other people in the program actually ask about this. So I believe you have to work with them for a certain amount of time before they give it to you. But yes, there are. I know some of the other people that I've seen. They have the cat paw. One day, maybe. Yeah, I've never used drops, but I know some people live for them. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you play the kind of games that have drops, I guess maybe I just don't play a lot of live service stuff, or like a lot of multiplayer stuff, aside from Zhong, so I guess maybe I've just like most of what I play. I'm trying to think, I think the only time that there was anything that I played other than Zhong that had drops available was like, I think they had it for Uma Musume, but they only had it for like the Chinese version or something. Like it did, for whatever reason, the drops did not work for like the English version, which is strange because it's still, even if you streamed Uma Musume at that time, they would still put it on the video even if you couldn't get it. So it was strange and unusual. Yeah, I'll watch a stream for WoW drops. Yeah, I guess if you play an MMO, do they do it for? Yeah, I guess it's for MMOs. Yeah. Also, bonjour, I'm new here. Hello, bonjour. The traditional Canadian greeting. Hello, bonjour. But yes, Let's see if we can get characters. I will add many to my collection. Because I know last time we did this, I did... My collection is growing. My collection is growing. Because I think I got... Was that everybody from the Gintama lab? We'll see. We'll see. I know my luck with this was pretty good last time. Interesting... Hold on. Let me check. So usually Sakura Path is for the girls, right? And then Bamboo Path is for the guys. But the one thing I might need to figure out for this event is, can you still... Because, like, Kirito seems to be... Like, can you still get Kirito? If you pull for Bamboo, are you only going to get Kirito? Let me see. Okay, no, oh, I see. I understand, I see. So it looks like you can still get everybody from the collab on either one of these. Yeah, it's the same for both paths. Okay, so it looks like you can still get all the collab characters from both paths. It's just that if you can also get other characters and other things from it, and then I guess if you want the male characters, then you're only going to pull them from Bamboo, and then the female ones you only get them from Sakura. Let me see which one I'll pull on. Because I know last time I also got characters that weren't part of the collab. I don't know. I don't have enough guys. You know, I'm gonna pull off the male characters because I'm realizing I think I have. Do I even have any? No. Do I have any male characters outside of the Gintama ones? Oh no, I have one guy. Everyone is. I have all girls, and one guy, and then the Gintama characters. Which I mean, I guess that counts. But like, yeah. Is this a gacha? Pronounce the name like you would in French. Bossier? What are you trying to fool me into saying? Yeah, you don't get an advantage from gacha aside from getting drip. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, Mahjong Soul, all the stuff, like all the gacha pulling is all cosmetics. If you, like when you start off, there's two characters you get by default. So there's Ichihime and Miki. So these are the two defaults. But everything else you get from gacha. Everything else is gacha. So, I guess I can, should I alternate or is that gonna like ruin my odds? I also realize I have more scrolls than I thought, but okay. You know what, I'm trying my luck here. Whoa. Ooh. Oh yeah, the other cosmetics you can get, because there's characters, but there's also things like little win animations and stuff. Those you can get from gacha as well. So you can win more dramatically. Oh, and you can also get a guy. I have not seen you before. I think it's also kind of funny because you know how like before the character appears there's like a generic male silhouette. I feel like it's funny because like the generic male silhouette is very much an adult guy, and then like the actual character appears and it's like somebody a fraction of that size. Here we go. We got guy, and we got a duplicate of something. There we go. Yeah, this is a great temple already. Yeah, I mean you don't always get a character. Getting a character is already pretty good luck. And yeah, if you get duplicates, I think it gives you something. I know if you get duplicate characters, then it gets turned into these things, which I don't remember what they're called. I forget what they're called. But yeah, if you get duplicates, you can get kind of these things, and you can exchange them for whatever character you want. I think there was one character. I think it was Nanami. Yeah, I got her through these. Yeah. Yeah, like the trope where a giant shadow comes out of a cave but just low light projecting a rat or something. Yeah, that's why he looks like a grown man in the shadow. He's just like the lights hitting him, and he's like he looks super tall. And like maybe it's like one of those things where it's like he looks super tall and like the shoulders look broader. Yeah. I don't know how we pronounce it, but it involves a similar thing to the jour and bonjour. Yeah, trying to fool you in the Cajun country and heard someone not from here pronounce it as she's bossier than me. I was curious how different it'd be in normal French versus Cajun. Like bossier. Well, bossier. Bossier? Well, because like bossier. I mean, I guess sometimes it depends too, because I've definitely seen, like, you know the makeup brand Glossier, I think? I'm pretty sure it's not pronounced Glossier. But, like, it is sort of, I guess, kind of that same thing, right? Let's go again. I don't usually get to gacha, so this is always a fun treat. I think this 10 pull might not be as, I didn't see any purple, so I think this 10 pull might not be to the same degree of quality as the first one. Okay, we got a frame. That's nice. I'll have to check out these Ricci animations after. I think we got some duplicates as well. But yeah. The best I can pronounce approximately is Beaujour. Beaujour. Well, I think the J in French is softer, right? It's like j. Bonjour. Like, instead of like bonjour, it's like j. I can only describe it as softer, right? Like, j. Yeah, no characters, but you're getting a lot of cosmetics at least. Yeah. I'm hoping, is there get more of the tablecloths? I'm hoping to get that. Or I like when I get the tablecloths and the Ricci sticks. We go again. No purple. Usually I think purple is usually when it means you get a character. Okay, I think... We're getting so many repeats of the portrait frames. I only have one portrait. I only have one picture. There's only one profile picture. Okay. Yeah, must buy or should buy more jade. I mean, you can if you want, within your means. Yeah, the thing, the J schwa, is like the schwa or something. Yeah. Because I think it's like, there's like, it's like a soft J. I know the J sound is something that I've seen people with, when they speak French, like, they have to kind of learn that. I think the R sound, I think like R in French is also like, because like you have like the word like rouge, right? And it's like, the R is like a, like it's kind of like almost, not phlegmy. I don't think that's the right word, but it's not like rouge, right? It's like rouge. Yeah. Why does it feel like gacha games are the only ones that make great stylistic interfaces, at least for fantasy? I mean, like, is it compared to, like, JRPGs? I mean... Yeah. Okay, let's see. Character? Nah. Cookie. Wine glass. Ooh, okay, we got music, which I usually have. While painting. Well, it's something. It's something. Yeah, the R is rolling a bit in French, but also soft. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I've also never really been able to roll my R's. Sometimes in choir, when I was in choir, they would have us do songs where we would like they'd be in like Latin or like Italian or something, and we'd have to roll our R's, and my strategy was to just hope that everybody else in the soprano section could also roll their R's, because I'm like, I can't do that. Not on command, at least. Sometimes I manage it, but it's never, it's always like by accident, right? It's never on command. I'll take your cookies. I still need to feed my Ichihime. 1 bajillion cookies. I should make cookies sometime. Maybe if I have time this week. I hope I have time this week. I want to make shortbread cookies. Ooh. Important things. Whoa. A woman? A woman! A collaboration woman! We got a woman! I was confused. I knew it was gonna be a collab character. I knew it was gonna be a collab character because I'm like, woman? In the men's path? We got a woman! Woman Kirito. No, this isn't woman Kirito. Woman Kirito actually exists. Isn't there? I remember seeing some, like, there's like an official female, like, at least Kirito in a dress. In some iteration of SAO, I remember. But yeah, no, this is the main female character. Yes, yeah, this is the female lead. Second character? Nah. Ooh, okay, we got another one. Well, we got a character. I have gotten characters, like 2 characters in the same poll before, in the same 10 poll. It does happen. It's uncommon, but it can happen. It does happen to me. There we go. I guess I'll switch to her. I'll switch to her if we don't get any other characters, but we'll see. There's still lots of time, and there's still lots of gacha cards. There's still lots of jade. We're full of jade, and also the summon scrolls. Yeah. Yeah. The GGR arc had an extremely androgynous version of him as the character model, but it was a male game avatar. Yeah, because I remember seeing, like, art of, like, maid dress Kirito. I definitely remember seeing that. I don't remember what it was for. Hold on, if I search Kirito maid dress to make sure that I didn't, like, make this up with my brain. Images. Kirito maid dress. Yes, this was real. This was real. This is real. There was a Kirito with long hair. Kirito girl. If I search Kirito girl, am I just going to get... Okay. I was scared I was just gonna get pictures of, like, other girls from SAO. No, okay, I didn't dream that up. There was Kirito, androgynous long hair Kirito. There's a bunch of pictures of, like, idol girl Kirito. Yeah. Mandela effect Kirito. Well, I don't know. There's things where I'm like, was this real or was this like... Because, like, there's definitely been, like, fan art for many things that I did not realize was fan art at the time. And then when I was trying to find the picture later, like, there's a picture of, like, I think it was K-On! Girls wearing Lolita dresses. And for many years, like, again, the art style that it was drawn in was, like, very close to the official one. So for a while, I thought it was, like, official art that was made for something or another. But then it turns out, no, it was just, like, really well-drawn fan art. Because, like, you know, sometimes there's, like, all sorts of, like, art that's drawn for, like, you know, there's, like, we're having a pop-up cafe, and their theme is maid, so here's everybody dressed as a maid. Or, like, pop-up cafe, but, like, everyone's in suits. Or we have some merch, but now everyone's dressed in, like, you know, everyone's dressed like it's the 80s, or, like, you know, like, they have, like, random unique outfits for different events. So I thought maybe it was for one of those. Yeah, some fan artists go well with reproducing the style to a T. Yeah, or I guess maybe if you already just had a style that happens to be similar. But no, I liked those ones with K-On! Because it very much... Sometimes when you look at pictures or, like, art of Lolita fashion, especially if it's for stuff that isn't, you know, necessarily related to Lolita fashion, I like when you can, like, tell... Like, sometimes I look at some pictures and I'm like, I can tell exactly which pieces they were referencing. Like, I can see that they probably Googled, like, you know... they were looking for a specific kind of dress and they found it and they just referenced it. I have seen so many people wearing, like, the same, like... angelic pretty boots, and I'm like, yeah, I recognize those boots. Obligatory loss and collab. Yeah. Like, we've collaborated with like some kind of store, and everyone's dressed now like they work at the store. Yeah. Let's see. Ooh, okay, this is gonna be another good one, I think. Unless they're trying to fool me and play with my emotions and manipulate me. Ooh, a man. It's the man. From the sword. It's him, the sword art. It's the sword art online. It's him, Mr. Sword. Mr. Sword from Sword Art Online. We got the full couple. Yeah, I can alternate. First name Sword, last name, middle name Art, last name Online. Mr. Online was my father. Call me Sword. Yeah. Join John Sword Art Online. Yeah. John Sword Art Online. Yeah, it's finding people dog on the series now. Well, like, okay, at the time, I remember, like, when I was in high school, I didn't watch anime until, like, towards the end of high school. At least not consistently. But, like, I remember this was huge at the time. Like, this was, like... I had friends that cosplayed from this. Like, to this day, I don't think I've actually seen it. But it's like... It was huge. It was, like, the big thing. It's like how, like, Jujutsu Kaisen might be now. Like, it's like, yeah, if you knew somebody who watched anime... It was this and Attack on Titan. If you knew somebody who watched anime, they had definitely seen either one or both of those things. And to this day, I still have seen neither of those things. I have not watched Attack on Titan either. Yeah, black is not a hard thing to cosplay. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's true, because, like, I guess you could go into super detail with, like, figuring out how to make the coat, right? But, like, I guess if you already had dark hair, then you're like, okay, well, I won't need a wig. And yeah, I feel like if you just had, like, a black coat and enough buckles on it, I guess you could pass it off as Kirito. Yeah. It was a top series that season. Remember everyone going wild when it came out? Yeah, again, I think I was, like... Because, like, again, I didn't watch anime until, like, the very end of high school. Like, I was aware of anime, but I was too busy listening to K-pop. I think the first show I watched from start to finish was, like... It was Madoka Magica. I watched Madoka Magica at, like, the tail end of my last year of high school. So it's like, I feel like maybe I missed out on being a high school weeb because I didn't really become a weeb until the very end of high school. But, like, again, when you're into K-pop, there's going to be a huge overlap with people who like anime. So, like, I knew a lot of people who cosplayed, I knew a lot of people who liked anime, who drew, like, you know, all their notebooks were covered in, like, anime doodles, like, manga-style drawings. So, yeah, a black coat is pretty close, but probably better with silver trim and sword belt. Well, because it's silver, I definitely have seen people at conventions who made, like, a Kirito coat with, like, big coat, black coat, and then they put, like, silver duct tape along it, like along the edges to make the stripes. I feel like I definitely saw that. I guess because it was silver. It's silver on black, so it was, like, very easy. Your first anime was the tail end of Madoka Magica? No, it was the tail end of high school. I watched Madoka Magica. Madoka Magica had been out for a while at that point when I was in high school. So I watched it from start to finish. I guess it was probably technically also the first show it wasn't the first show I binge watched because that was probably Avatar: The Last Airbender. So yeah. But yeah, no, I was aware. People in high school I knew, they absolutely cosplayed this. How'd you like the Madoka Magica anime? Well, obviously I liked it because I proceeded to watch more anime. But yeah, Madoka Magica, I actually watched it because at the time I was really, really into Steven Universe. And Madoka Magica is kind of on the list of anime that people tell you to watch if you like Steven Universe. So yeah, that's actually where I got into it from. Which I guess is not the most direct way to get into Madoka Magica, but it definitely is a way to do that. Yeah, did episode 3 surprise you? No, because I watched this like a good 4 or 5 years after it came out. So I knew what I was getting into when I went into it. Like, I did not watch it in real time. It was a few years. It had been out for a few years, and everybody kind of knew what it was, so. Yeah, can we get movie 4? One day. Eggy, when you to play? Soon. Don't worry. I'm yapping too much. I'm gonna see if I can get the other collab characters, and then we'll start playing. Less yap, more pull. Steven Universe, of course. The resemblance of Madoka Maguka is uncanny. That's how I know you haven't watched Steven Universe. That's how I know you have not watched Steven Universe. Because... Ooh! Are we gonna get... Yes! Lifa. 3 out of 4. 3 out of 4. There. Ooh! Oh, wait, I think we already have this one. I don't think... Have we gotten the tablecloth yet? I don't think we've gotten the event tablecloth yet. I kind of hope I get that too. I think we have a couple more pulls of this. At this point, I'm like, tablecloth on the Gaishimas? More so than the characters. I'm like, give me a tablecloth. Give me a new thing to look at. Alright, tablecloth. I think we have like, what, one or... Yeah, I think this might be the last one. I mean, I guess I got the summon scrolls too. Really? I can't believe you haven't gotten the tablecloth yet. I know! I've gotten, like, I think I've gotten the Riichi, like the Riichi animation, like, multiple times. I don't think I've gotten the tablecloth. Yeah, how have I not gotten the tablecloth? Okay, I think... Yeah, I've gotten this. I've definitely gotten this multiple times. And I've gotten this multiple times. I haven't gotten the Riichi stick, and I haven't gotten the tablecloth. Which is odd. Look, we have a bunch of summon scrolls, though, so let's see what we can get with that. These are for single pulls, though, so... It's gonna be a lot of this. Let's try again. Tablecloth? No. Tablecloth? Well, I mean, it's a tablecloth, I guess. Tablecloth? Oh, okay. You know what? I can live with this. I can live with this. I can live with this. I don't know how many more we have. Tablecloth? No. Tablecloth? Eggy, you Zhong on Switch? Nope, I Zhong on PC. Does Mahjong Soul have a Switch version? I'm not sure. Alright. I don't know how many more of these... Is this the last one? Maybe. Tablecloth? No. Man. We got everything but the tablecloth, but I can live with the Riichi. I can live with the Riichi sticks. I think we'll change to Asuna. And, okay, let's see. I can change to the new ones. Yeah, I'm gonna change to the new ones. I don't think this is part of the event. But I've definitely, this one I've seen before. Oh wait, no, this is the one that, this is the one. This is the one. Tile call indicator. You know, I'm still kind of... One thing I do want to get someday is I like the hands, the alternate hands. I like the alternate hands, I like the cat paw one. I want the cat paw one, but I still haven't been able to get it, unfortunately. You know what, I guess I'll change to this one. I'll do the watermelon one. Tile face. Do I have other ones? No, I only have one. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Yeah, I don't think so. I only got nothing I wanted. It happens. I didn't get, I mean, I think for the Gintama one I got all of them. This one I didn't, I think I only got 3 of the 4. It knows you want a tablecloth. No, you're never getting one. Yeah, it's because I said it out loud. They're listening. They're listening and they're like turning the little the gacha dials to like be like, okay, she said she wanted a tablecloth, so turn that one down just slightly. She doesn't seem very picky on which character she gets. Turn each of them down, but then some of them up. When you reach the whale level of cat food supplier, you'll get a quote-unquote free cat paw. Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was only a thing you get from the gacha. Yeah. Had 20 score for the event, and I got the 2 characters I wanted and 2 decorations of the collab. I mean, I've definitely seen people like Nelson, my good friend Power Nelson. He has a character when he plays that's like aside from the default. He's only ever done the gacha like once, and he just got like really lucky. And his like one single gacha pull, he got a character. I don't know how he did it, but let us play. Let us play. Let us zhong. In the zhong room. 19079. 19079 is. I'm going to pin this. This is our room code. There we go. And let me pin that on YouTube as well. 19079. 19079. I'll pin that. Did I pin the right thing? Did I pin it? Did I pin? Oh no, this is pinned. Okay, this is pinned. This is pinned. It's pinned correctly. We got it. We got it. We're fine. Everything is fine, and everyone's ready to zhong. You've all been sitting here waiting very patiently to be able to zhong, and we are zhonging now. We shall now zhong. Guess I'll join later. Usually, it's fine. Usually it fills up very quickly for the first few rounds, and then after that, once people have played, then it gets a little easier. But there's furries in this? Sure are. There's everything in this. Everyone is here. Yeah, I mean, my character's Ichihime, so like... Yeah? Is she the main character? I guess she's the character that they keep putting on all their promotions and stuff. Dumb question. Why throw the west wind when you're in the west seat? Sometimes you just don't need it for the hand that you're going for. So to answer your question, desutoya. I don't know why I said that in French. But sometimes the hand that you're going for just doesn't need, like west wind, even if you are in the west wind seat. Personally, my strategy is like, maybe, I don't know if strategy is the right word, but I feel it's usually the right play to kind of, like if you don't get at least two wins within the first few turns, usually there's no point in sitting there and waiting around for the entire game to have like the third one fall into your lap, right? Because you're eventually you're not really going to find it. So sometimes it's just not worth holding on to. You don't sense Ichihime's protagonist energy. I mean, she does have the #1 in her name. She is Princess #1. I don't know. I still kind of want to cosplay Ichihime someday. I keep telling myself I'll do that, and then I don't. I still want to someday. Ah. First princess? Oh, second princess. You need like Nihime, Sanhime. NiceEggy, nya. See, what I need to do is I need to like cosplay Ichihime, and then go to a convention and play Zhong all day and intentionally throw every game. Intentionally lose. But yeah, no, I think for me, I think I need to find a place that has the wig. Because I found places that sell the costume. I guess I could make it myself, but it's a little complicated. And I've seen places that sell, like, I saw one place that sold, like, the costume and the ears, but not the wig for some reason. Oh, wait a second. Maybe. Okay. Oh. I don't need that. Yeah, the pattern's a little complicated just being able to find it. Yeah, well, it's for making the costume, it's more like it's a lot of layers. Cuz I mean, Mahjong Soul is still a gacha game, right? And gacha games do love their very over-designed, complicated designs, right? So I think that Ichihime definitely sometimes, I mean, I would say, like, the Mahjong Soul characters are still, like, they have an average amount of detail, right? Like, I don't think that Mahjong Soul is not the worst offender when it comes to, like, really, really complicated designs for gacha games. But she still is, like, a lot of layers, right? Personal news, I am now eligible to get 1 Sunshine Lucky Bag for Mahjong Soul. Yes! For those who are sticking around here, there are Mahjong Soul drops going on right now. So if you continue watching somebody who is streaming the game, you will get things in the game. Thank you, Car. Car, thank you for sprouting. Yeah. Yeah, aside from dedicated cosplays. Yeah. Well, because for cosplays, it's pretty rare. Like, unless you're cosplaying something, like, really, really generic, it's very rare to find, like, just, like, something that can be repurposed, right? You don't see that a lot. Like, unless you're just doing, like, maid or, like, something that's, like, very generic like that. Usually you're, you know, going online and searching, like, name of character cosplay and hoping that somebody makes it, right? But for wigs, for wigs, it depends on your level of skill. Personally, I have very little confidence when it comes to styling wigs. But, like, I know some people who will, like, they can just buy a wig. Like, if it's, like, a character with short brown hair, they'll just buy, like, a short brown wig, and then they'll style it however they need to. And I don't have that level of ability. I keep buying wigs designed for a specific character and using it for that character only. It's fine. My hand wasn't good anyway. It's fine. Because styling wigs is scary. I think I've talked about this before. Styling wigs is scarier than sewing. That's why I only cosplay people who match my hair. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's like, yeah, you can take that approach, but also I don't know enough characters that, like, match my hair exactly. Because, like, I'm not opposed to wearing wigs. I'm just opposed to having to style them. Because cutting wigs is scary. It's scary. Whoa. It's very scary. Because, like, okay, if you're sewing something, right, and you know, you don't use enough fabric or something, if you screw up, you can usually sort of fix it, right? So maybe there might, if you need to buy more fabric, sometimes if it's in, like, a different dye batch or something, there might be, like, a weird difference in color, but, like, it's not, like, anything that's, like, super, super huge, right? But if you mess up a wig, and also, too, like, if you mess up a cosplay, you can still kind of repurpose the material for something else. But, like, if you mess up a wig, that thing is dead. That thing is garbage. There is nothing you can do with that now. Go and feel ashamed. Like, it's scary. I mean, I guess, okay, a few years ago, I did do a cosplay, and I did style the wig for it. It wasn't really complicated styling, it was mostly just, like, cutting it was like trimming the bangs so that they weren't in my eyes, and then it was like just making sure that the other strands were like where they're supposed to be. So it wasn't like complicated styling, but it was still more than I had done usually, and I was very scared, but I did it, and I think I did an okay job. So, but yeah, there's other characters I want to cosplay, but I'm worried that finding a wig is not going to be so easy. Yeah, cutting hair is a matter of millimeters too at times, which is why people mess up bangs so often. Though, couldn't one ask a hairdresser for help styling a wig? Some hairdressers do that, but also it's kind of expensive. Because, like... And also, too, not all hairdressers know how to work with wigs. Because the texture of wig hair is different, especially if it's like a synthetic wig, which most cosplay wigs are. The texture is very different from real hair, right? There's things you can do with a wig that you can't do with real hair. And there's also a lot of methods that are used when it comes to styling wigs that you would... I mean, I guess you could use them on real hair, but like... They would kind of... They wouldn't look good, and also they would probably wreck your hair. Like, for instance, like, a lot of anime style stuff has a lot of... Like, you gotta tease the wig a lot. Because a lot of anime type hairstyles involve like super heavy volume, right? Like you look like a character like, I'm trying to think of an example, somebody with like really big spiky hair. Like, I don't know why Yugi was the first, like, Mr. Yu-Gi-Oh himself. But like any character with like big spiky hair, right? That's going to be a big issue for styling a wig because that's not how real person hair works. So usually what you have to do is you have to like tease it a lot, and then only then can it like make the shape that you need it to. But that's not really a technique you use a lot on real hair very often, right? Partly because you usually don't need that level of volume, and also because teasing your hair that much can like make it very difficult to brush out, right? But I have talked to hairstylists before that do, like, they have mentioned like, yeah, I know how to style wigs. I've done wigs before for people's cosplays. Man, oh wait, I was like, I don't even get any points out of this. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Makes me happy to be a tall, skinny blonde boy. There's usually one every anime season. Easy. Skill issue. Just instantly change hairstyles like Tomodachi Life. Yeah, would you like to go to the hair salon to get your hair longed? I mean, I guess that is what extensions are, right? You go to the hair salon and you get your hair long, elongated. Except it's not really elongated. They just, like, attach long stuff underneath, but... Yeah, no, wigs, styling wig, difficult and scary. It's scary. If you can style a wig, you are incredibly brave. Yeah. I think I'm focusing way too much on the game. I've lost the combo. We're talking about wigs and cosplay, and how cutting wigs is scary. Okay, well... I mean, it's not that... We're not that dead, right? No one's in the single digits. No one's in the single digits. It's fine. It's fine. For once, I'm not dealer for this. Wait, what place are you in? Are you second? Yeah, you're second, I think, right now. Yeah. It sounds strange to say to ground yourself and the wig. I mean, people also have different approaches to styling wigs, but it really depends on like how complicated it is that what you're trying to do. Like, I know a lot of people, like a lot of people I know who cosplay a lot, they say they're like, if I'm just clipping the bangs, I will just put the wig on my head and just like clip the bangs on my own head. Not like the bangs on your head that are like from your hair, but like you put the wig onto your head and then you clip the bangs while you're wearing it so that you can like figure out the exact length that you need, right? But obviously you can't do that for all wig styling. I know some people who will also have like foam wig heads which is useful for when you're doing stuff that, like, you need to be able to see the back of the head for. Or for stuff that, like, if you try to do it on your own head, like, if you're working with stuff with, like, an updo or ponytails or something, where, like, you need to have your arms up all the way every time that you need to style it, usually that's also not particularly good for doing with a real, on your real actual head. Yeah. I saw someone do a Teto wig with actually spinning drills. It was impressive. Was it, like, mechanical, or... I mean, drill tails are probably, like, cosplayers' biggest enemy, because it's really difficult. They're really common in anime, right? But they're actually really difficult to make them work in real life. Like, I've seen different approaches. I've seen people, like, attach the hair to, like, a ribbon or a wire and then, like, twirl that around. I've seen some people who just make, like, really curly, like, twin tails and just call it a day there. Yeah. Yeah, it's, like, mechanical from what I could tell, and, like, a spinning bits frame from the top and went out to the side and spun from the top. That must have been so heavy on their neck, though. Yeah, Google told me that cutting bangs can go very quickly from looking good to looking bad with not much material change. Yeah, true. Google's correct on that one. No, yeah, because, like, it's scary. But no, I mean, I know that, like, also, like, if you're cosplaying a character with really long hair, I know that, like, your head and neck get tired is, like, a very real phenomenon. Because, like, half the time it's, like, this is more hair than, like, your neck was built to support. So I know that that's also, like, a phenomenon, so I can imagine if your wig has, like, actual mechanical pieces to it, that must be, like, exhausting to wear. But yes, also good evening, Jake and Robert. What's the intended hairdo for drill tails in real life? Usually, I mean, if you wanted to do, like, a more, like, realistic take on it, usually people just do, like, curly twin tails. Usually that's usually what people end up going for. But I was in Tenpai! I mean, it's not my problem. It's not my problem. It's not my problem. I lost, but it's not my problem. Actually, I didn't lose. Zully lost. I'm gonna rub it in. I'm gonna rub it in. I got third. Congratulations to Longing, and thank you to Wildcard, and I guess Zully. Should stop going for funny hands. This is your punishment for zhonging too close to the sun. But yes, thank you for playing. Let's go. Yeah. I guess you go to the gym to train neck muscles, though I wouldn't know how the exercise would look since there's no machine for it. Well, also, like, your neck is, like, one of those things that you have to be, like, really careful with how you exercise it. Like, I feel like every time I've ever done anything fitness where the warm-up involved, like, doing, like, the neck rolls, the teacher is always like, be careful, do it gently, do it very gently, be very careful, do it very gently, do it as gently as possible. So, like, I think that, like, doing neck exercises would probably pose more of a risk than just, like, doing it normally. Yeah, you probably start slowly. I was under the impression, too, that, like, your neck is one of those things that, like, just, like, gets exercised as the rest of you gets exercised. So, like, if you do a lot of, like, shoulder exercises, then, like, inevitably that's going to involve your neck. Because, like, what would that look like? What would that look like if somebody was, like, they were really... Like, they exercise nothing but their neck. Like, they skip arm day, they skip leg day, they skip all the other days except for neck day. So they just have, like, a really buff neck, but then the rest of their body is just, like, normal. Like, what would that look like? Recently, I just get increasingly salty playing Mahjong. Time to bring back an ancient class at Salt. That was, like, salt, being salt or salty. Like, do people still say that? Do people still say that? Do the kids these days still say salty? I feel like that kind of fell out in favor for, like, I don't know. What do people say now? I guess they say that they're crashing out. They say that, Ohio, hello to W. Yeah, I'm not part of the fighting game community, so I'm not sure. Say 6, 7 or something. No, but that's like a different, that means something different. 6, 7 is a different thing. I'm talking about like, because salty meant like, you know, you're mad, you know, you're bitter, you're like, you lost. And you're mad about it. I feel like, yeah, I'm pretty sure salt was a fighting game thing. I definitely remember seeing, like, I feel like it was a really common thing around like 2020-ish. And people were using it for things other than just like fighting games. Crashing is not the same thing as salty. I guess that's true. It's the same thing as like, I guess like rage baited, but rage baited is also different because rage baited implies that the other person's doing it on purpose, right? Salt seems to be used in the FGC community because yeah, like I just don't hear people being like, "Why are you so salty, bro?" Like I don't hear people saying stuff like that anymore. Isn't it salty because tears are salty? That was the impression I was under. Yes. Why are you so peppery? Look at you being so well seasoned. So yeah, I guess check one off on your Eggy bingo for passage of time. But I guess yeah, 2020 was 6 years ago now. So it's hard to believe, but many things that were relevant in 2020 are no longer relevant. I assume salt because like it's bitter. Is salt bitter? No, salt is salty. What kind of salt are you eating? I think if your salt is bitter, then something is wrong with it. Why does your body contain abnormal amount of sodium and is it destroying your mood? No, I think somebody said it before. It was like they call it salty because like tears are salty. So like if you're mad and you're going and like that's the salt is from your tears. Or is it an ironic take to being bitter? I guess, yeah, that could be another explanation. Why is egg so eggy? Well, egg is eggy, that's true. Are you expecting me to argue with you on that? The US slang sense of angry, irritated is first attested in 1938, perhaps from similar use with regard to sailors. Tough, aggressive, which is attested by 1920. Hold on. Especially in phrase jump salty. Unexpectedly become enraged. Related saltily. Jump salty. Interesting. Saltily? Saltily. I mean, I guess there are like a number of words that are like flavors, but they're used to mean other things, right? Because like you can say, usually we talk about like somebody being sweet, even though that's like not their flavor. Usually a sweet person is someone who's just like nice and kind to be around, right? And you can be bitter, but that's also like unrelated to the flavor. So I guess, I don't know. Are there any other ones? Sweet, bitter, I guess you can be sour about something too, but I feel like that's kind of similar to being bitter in some regards. We have sweet, bitter, salty, sour. Yeah. I guess, I don't know. We don't really use savory. I don't think we found like a non-food usage for the word savory yet, but maybe we will someday. Yeah. Sour we do in German. That's just like angry in Germany. Oh, interesting. I'm pretty sure bitter is also used for the same way in French. Like, not like angry, but like the same way it is in English. Like, I think people say amer. Still, umami wasn't discovered yet. we're trying to find like another usage for umami. Yeah, tasty is the closest. Yeah, but like I don't think, does anybody really use the word tasty in like a normal conversation for something that isn't food? Unsavory, I guess. True. But I don't know, I feel like when it comes to describing things that aren't food, like you only use savory to describe food. And you could say unsavory, like, you know, like, you can use that, but like, I feel like it's a bit like how you might have something that's like uncouth, where like something is never couth. So when it comes to non-food things, it's like something can be unsavory, but something is never savory, right? Yeah. Savory ladies. Savory ladies. Couth? What's taste like? Well, no, but it's okay. Couth isn't taste, but I'm talking like how, like, you know how you can say that something is uncouth? Like, you know, something is like impolite, is rude, is uncouth, but like, the opposite of uncouth is not couth. The opposite of uncouth doesn't exist. It's like polite or something, right? Nothing can ever be couth. Oh, that was too early. I shouldn't have done that. Oops. 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 But yeah, I guess there was like a number. Yeah, I don't know. My spelling bee puzzle lets lots of words exist I didn't think were real. Well, there's also a lot of words that like, I guess, like, there's a lot of words that I know, because, like, there's things that are opposites, right? Like, you have, like, possible and impossible, right? But then you also have things that are, like, wait a second. Okay. Yeah, they have, like, possible and impossible, but then there's also, like, I'm trying to think of another example. Like, yeah, there's, like, uncouth, but there's no couth. Ladies are very gamey and earthy. Then he'd look alkaline, acidic. The Dutch use the word lekker to describe someone as hot. What does it mean in Dutch? Like, on a literal sense? Because, like, I mean, I guess hot is like another one in English, right? Because hot, I guess... Oh, actually, no, we also use spicy. We also use spicy to describe non-food things, right? Like, I know people will say, like, spicy for, like, something that's, like, controversial. Or, you know, or maybe something that's, like, taboo or inappropriate, right? That's spicy, yeah. Yeah, and saucy. Yeah, that's another one. That's another one. Yeah, some words have their opposites that no longer mean opposite things, like credible and incredible. True, yeah. That's true. Well, I mean, I think there's also been some words that over time have also, like, the definition hasn't changed, but the connotation has. Like, you know how the word awesome used to not always be a good thing? Like, nowadays, like, when we say, like, awesome, it's like, yeah, like, that's something good. But, like, I know in the past, like, awesome was usually just anything that was, like, big, like anything that was, like, big, I guess, or, like, inspires awe could be awesome, even if it wasn't necessarily something good. Yeah, how is saucy used? How is saucy used? I guess it's, like, not seductive, like sassy. Yeah, sort of like sassy. I don't know how exactly to describe saucy. You just kind of know it when you see it. I guess, like, it's like, usually it's kind of big personality kind of thing. Yeah. Awesome, something to bring awe. Yeah, it's like something with some awe to it. Or I guess how you have, like, famous and infamous, right? Where like famous is like if you're famous, if you're popular for good reasons, and then infamous is like when you're popular for bad reasons. Where it's like, yeah, technically you're both well known in both situations, but it just like depends, right? W's got like the most open hand known to man. Just all the tiles are out there on the table. It's like a museum. Well, this is the Three Musketeers from back in the day, if I'm telling you my age. Is it like the chocolate bar? You notice? I'm like looking at this because you're the only one who's like called anything at all, and Mom says it's my turn on the pressing buttons. Yeah, Wiktionary says mildly erotic for that saucy meaning. Okay, yeah, that sounds about right. Because it's not quite the same as spicy. I think. To me, it's like saucy is like a very like, I guess it's like erotic, but in like a theatrical kind of way. Like a very dramatic way. Is ecchi saucy? No, I wouldn't say it. How would I describe saucy? Saucy to me sounds classier. Whereas I feel like spicy to me, like at least when you're using it for like non-food things, to me is the connotation is different between saucy and spicy, right? Like to me, saucy sounds more like dramatic and theatrical, whereas like anything can be spicy. Anything can be spicy if it's controversial enough. My entirely open hand. Opened his whole hand and got nothing for it. Saucy sounds a bit lecherous. Is lecherous a word that also is based in food? Because I know that like leche is like the word for milk in some languages, right? Like, you know, I have like dulce de leche, dulce de leche, like the caramel stuff that you can get at. It might be, maybe, yeah. Or what's that what's that like? What's that one dessert that's like 3 milks or something? I can't remember what it's called. It's called something in Spanish. It's like tres leches or something. Or maybe it was 6 of them. I don't remember. I don't actually remember what dulce de leche. No, it was a different one. There's a number in there. I think it was 3. I hope somebody knows what I'm talking about. It's like 3 milks. I think one of them is condensed. I can't remember why it's called that. Tres leches. Okay, yeah. So I am thinking. Yeah. Okay. So there is 3 of them. Which ones are they? Lecherous from. Oh, I guess it comes from lick. I guess that makes sense. Because I guess, yeah, that is like lécher is like. That is, I think, the French word for lick. Yeah, I only know the ice cream. I mean, sometimes I like getting dulce de leche syrup in like coffee, because I know some coffee shops will have it. It's like a nice alternative to like just normal caramel, if they have it. Yes, good evening, X-Rock. Hello. Yeah, today I had frozen yogurt. I had mint chocolate. Mint chocolate frozen yogurt. I don't know. I remember because I had a job interview today, and I was thinking about how back in 2024, when I interviewed for my job back then, it was, I had frozen yogurt after the interview. And I was thinking again today, I was like, okay, am I just going to like, if I eat frozen yogurt again, will I get this job? Will I get the job I interviewed for today? Hopefully, maybe. Just the frozen yogurt good luck charm. It has to be mint chocolate. It can't be any other flavor. Oh, maybe. Seems the milk etymology doesn't overlap. Ah, okay. It just sounds similar. I guess maybe it comes more from like the same origin as like leech. Yeah. Is it me or did frozen yogurt kind of fall off? I remember for years it was super popular to have those like pay by weight kind of things where you self-serve the yogurt flavor and the toppings and just pay for the weight. There are some that are still around, but you're definitely right that it did fall off. I think boba kind of cornered that market. And we're still kind of there. I also know a number of like frozen yogurt shops that also, they didn't totally convert to boba, but like they started definitely adding it to the menu. Yeah, I think frozen, you're right that frozen yogurt was like a huge thing like 10, 15 years ago or so. Oh no, I sound old. I made 10 years ago sound like it wasn't a long time ago. No. I think Yogan Fruits has bubble tea now or something. Yeah, yeah. But Yogan Fruits isn't really a self-serve one, right? Yogan Fruits isn't a self-serve. But I feel like I've definitely seen like self-serve ones that had boba. Eggy, hello Nanoda! How was the interview? Still time? There's still tons of time. It's only like 9:30. There's still plenty of time. Yeah. Frozen yogurt always felt like a health thing as to why it was super popular for a while, and those trends are always pretty fickle, especially when it isn't for a good reason. Well, I think the thing is with frozen yogurt is that, like, I guess it was technically, like, it is technically, I guess, a bit healthier than normal ice cream. But, like, it wasn't really that healthy because, like, yeah, the frozen yogurt itself is healthier than, like, an equivalent amount of ice cream, but also people were, like, dumping massive amounts of, like, chocolate and gummies onto it, so I feel like that might have outdone any benefits you could get from that. I mean, I guess it was kind of the appeal of the soft-serve places. I think also, too, frozen yogurt, I think, like, because, like, with soft-serve ice cream, right? Like, usually most places don't really have a lot of different flavors of soft-serve ice cream. But, with frozen yogurt, I think it has the look of soft-serve ice cream, right? Yeah, yogurt frozen was big in the 90s. Frozen yogurt's time was, like, 30 years ago. No, but I feel like you're right, but I think there was also, like, multiple waves of it, right? Because, yeah, there might have been the frozen yogurt from back then, but I know there was also a trend about, like, again, like early 2010s of self-serve frozen yogurt. So yeah, you would, you know, it was self-serve, you would add the toppings yourself, and they would charge you by weight. That was the first place I actually ever tried popping boba, actually. It was in frozen yogurt, and I didn't see it until in drinks until much later. Yeah. It's not better, but people were looking for an excuse to have a sweet treat and not feel bad about it. Those excuses age out quickly. Yeah. I mean, I guess the thing after that, what would it be now? Like, smoothies? I guess? Because, yeah, I guess boba is big, but, like, no, I don't think anybody would argue that boba is healthy, right? Like, it's pretty objectively a dessert. Yeah. Eggy contributed to the death of frozen yogurt. What did I do? What did I do? I was like 17. What do you want from me? I mean, I guess I did. I was on boba before it got really, really big, I think. Like, it was already normal big, I think, where I was living. But, like, before it got really, really, really big. Clearly food trends follow whether Eggy uses it. Yes, I am the main character of food. All food trends revolve around what I am eating right now. Yeah. Yeah, boba got kind of kneecapped in Europe. What happened? Was there like some big boba controversy? Or was it just too sweet for the average European to handle? Saw sale on edamame, I'm like, damn you, Eggy. Why are you mad that they're on sale? They're literally cheaper. Go buy a bag. Why so many restaurants close when Eggy moves city? True! Yeah, there was a lot of restaurants I liked in old Eggy City that are gone now. Yes, they caught it. Oh, yeah, I remember hearing that about that at the time, and it's like, guys, it's tapioca pearls. Have you, like, I feel like we've been eating tapioca in other forms for a long time. But even now, I feel like boba has kind of changed though, because I feel like the like milk tea with pearls, like obviously everywhere still has it, but it kind of has gone out of style compared to like fruit tea. Or like stuff with jellies in it. I feel like that's been more popular in recent years. No, it's too early for that. It's Asian stuff, so it's good outrage page. Ah, foreign thing bad, I see. I mean, I feel like similar stories got ran here, but I don't think they got like super heavily picked up. But also I feel like maybe it was like one of those things that was like... I feel like boba was kind of brewing under the surface for a long time and before it got really popular and became like a mainstream thing. The damage is done. From one day the next customers vanish. Strange and unusual. I guess foreign thing bad is like a very... Everything is a conspiracy when you don't understand it. I mean, clearly ball and drink is the most efficient method of eating. It brought tapioca back from the brink. Yeah, because like, I mean, tapioca pudding was like a thing, but it wasn't like that popular or well-liked compared to like the pearls, right? Yeah. And now we had the second wave. Yeah, it will always come back. Because something that is sweet and chewy is almost always going to be popular. Yeah, technically a surprise birthday party is a conspiracy. Yeah. They're conspiring to celebrate my birthday. Yeah. It might be kind of weird though, I like saltwater taffy. Well, I mean, everyone's been selling saltwater taffy for years. Can't be that unusual. You know what's unusual? Liking licorice all sorts, apparently. I've been yearning for tasty drinks that maybe aren't sweet. Out of curiosity, like, the boba places where you are, do they let you, like, customize for sweetness? Because I know here most places will let you, like, they'll ask you what sugar level you want. And, usually I almost never... maybe I'm just old, but I almost never order things at 100% sugar unless it's a drink where you can't customize the sugar level. Like, usually I'll get, like, half sugar or even, like, less than that. Like, there's definitely some boba drinks that you really shouldn't have with no sugar. Like, I think one time I went to order this, like, lemon tea one, and I'm like, yeah, could I get this, like, without sugar, like, unsweetened? And they were like, are you sure? Because they're like, yeah, I mean, more power to you if you want it, but apparently it was, like, straight up, like, lemon juice in tea if you don't add any sugar. So, yeah. Yeah, one hot lemon juice, please. Yeah. So they're like, yeah, they're like, it is just straight up lemon juice, so, like, you know, more power to you, but, like, are you sure? Hi chats, hi Iggy, hello Linkstorm, hello. But yeah. Mildly allergic to coconut. I looked it up. It's less than 2% of the world. I rolled snake eyes on that one. I mean, there are rarer allergies. There are allergies that are rarer than that. There are people who are allergic to, like, cucumbers. You can be allergic to water? Can you? Wouldn't you just, like, die? Because don't you also, like, need that for, like, survival and stuff? Yeah, sweet tea is huge in the US South, but I get half and half everywhere now. Sometimes, like, 1/3 to 2/3 if it's really sweet. Yeah! No, the first time, I don't know what. As a kid, when I would have sweet tea, sometimes I'd be like, this is so sweet, it's making me more thirsty. Alright, congratulations to Barraclaw. And thank you to Punk Asian and DWU. Thank you for playing. I didn't... Second is fine. Second place is fine. I am a good sport. And that your skin doesn't like it, but you can ingest it. Ah, okay. So it's like, you can't, like, go swimming. How do you wash? Would you just, like, not be able to, like, take a bath, or do you just have to dry yourself off as quickly as possible? Second place, first loser. No. No. No, it's almost winner. I had a professor in college who was allergic to sunlight. She had, like, a gothic blue fabric umbrella to get placed with it. Yeah, I've definitely heard of that. I've heard of, like... Yeah, you have, like, the parasols. Special chemical additives to lessen issues for washing and all. Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah, Ayuka was the same. It was so wild when his skin got exposed. Didn't help he was a fair-skinned redhead. I mean, some of it I know is also people who, like... I guess, is it still a sunlight allergy, or if you, like, burn really, really, really easily? Because, like, I've known people who just, like, burn if they spend, like, a minute out in the sun without, like, adequate sun protection. But... Yes, it's called being ginger. Okay, well... I mean, sure. I'm allergic to eggs. I go through, like, 12 EpiPens a stream. No! Egg. Egg. Man, I don't know. I think, like, eggs are one of those things that I know people can be allergic to. I don't know if I've ever known anyone who is allergic to eggs. And, like, I know everyone's gonna be like, yeah, because they wouldn't talk to you if they were allergic to eggs. But, like, I know that it is a common allergy because I see a lot of things that are, like, you know, does not contain eggs, or this contains eggs. Warning, this contains eggs. But I guess eggs are one of those things that you don't really think about all the uses for in cooking until you, like, can't use them. I did, but they grew out of it or something. Yeah, because, like, I know for baked goods, like, eggless stuff is, like, a bigger deal. Because, like, I guess for a lot of stuff, right? Like, if you're making, like, soup or something, like, you can just... Like, if you're making ramen, right? You can just not put the egg in, right? And then your ramen is now eggless. I don't know, are ramen noodles made with egg? See, like, and then, like, when you get into baking, like, I know that, like, eggless cakes and cookies and stuff is, like, a bigger deal. Because it turns out that, like, eggs actually do play a big part in the chemistry of baking. Nanora, please be ready, Nanora! Nah! My streak died again. No! Nah! Nah! And also thank you, Azursha. Thank you for sprouting for another 6 months at tier 1. Nah! Everyone's nahing tonight. It's all nah. Yeah. Thinking about it, I don't think ramen noodles use egg. Because I know there are some kinds of noodles that use egg, but I don't know if ramen is one of them. Yeah, I know pasta and wonton noodles do use eggs. Yeah, yeah. I know there are some kinds of noodles that use egg, because it is... I know chemically it has some purpose. Like, I know it can make things fluffier or can help bind things together. Maybe I should make cookies this week. If I have time. And the ingredients. I should check what ingredients I have around. So I don't start baking and it's like, oops, you don't have enough flour. Yeah, ramen is flour and my water. Okay. Because I know like most pasta recipes or like noodle recipes in general are like some variation of like flour plus like you're basically just making a dough. But I know that there's got to be other things you got to add, right? Because like you're making a dough but you're getting it wet again, right? Your noodles need to be able to withstand being wet, right? So I know that there's got to be other things you add. Yeah. My mom has a gluten allergy and gluten-free bread is just not. Yeah. I have had gluten-free things before. Nobody in my family is allergic to gluten, but sometimes my mom would buy gluten-free things just because. And like, yeah. Apparently it is much better than it used to be though. Like I know like from what I've heard from people who have like actually have like celiac or have gluten allergies, they're like, the whole gluten-free trend was kind of a double-edged sword because on one hand, it's much easier to find gluten-free stuff than there used to be, and the stuff that does exist is apparently much better than it was before. But on the other hand, it also means that everybody takes it way less serious. So if you go to a restaurant and they say that something on the menu is gluten-free, it's less likely to actually be gluten-free. So it's like, it's kind of like a double-edged sword. There used to be a tiny section at Walmart at best, now it's just alongside other things on the shelves. Yeah, and like, I've bought gluten-free things by accident and did not notice that they were gluten-free until I was looking at the package later and I was like, oh, huh, this is gluten-free. Cool, okay. Yeah, I had a friend who was like so sick and miserable for so long and they finally figured out she had a gluten allergy. She got ultra skinny afterwards, but she was way healthier. Yeah. Well, I know it's also like, I don't know, it's so weird how you can just like wake up one day and no longer be able to tolerate a food. Like I know that happens the most for gluten, but I've also known people who have like woken up one day and it's just like, oops, you're now lactose intolerant. Like, I think once I was talking to someone who like, they became like super lactose intolerant, like extremely sensitive to it, to the point that they were like finding out that there was lactose in things they didn't even think to look for lactose in. Like, they were like, oh yeah, I was like eating chips and then they gave me a stomachache. It turns out that like some brands of chips have like very trace amounts of dairy in them for some reason. Like that degree of lactose intolerance. Yeah, Asian. Well, like, I know that, like, lactose intolerance becomes more likely as you get older for everybody, but... Yeah. Became super allergic to bananas in my 20s. Just bananas? I never had any allergies from pollen and such until, like, 2 years ago. Now I feel it. It's mild, but it's there. By any chance, did you move? Because I know I noticed that when I was in Japan. Because, yeah, like, I didn't really have any pollen allergies at all, but then I definitely noticed it when I was there. Like, again, it wasn't, like, super severe or anything, but it was, like, enough to notice it. But I also know that, like, if you go to a different place, the local flora and fauna is gonna have much more of an effect on that, right? I did not move. I've lived in the same area my whole life. Oh, okay. Someone out there just planted a new kind of tree. Oh, hello, Kari. I think my pollen allergies were most intense in Toronto growing up and least intense on the west coast of the US. Yeah, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's probably, like, something that grows on the east coast that doesn't grow on the west coast, right? Whoever did it better stub his toe. We have introduced new pollen to the ecosystem. We have planted a new tree. Let's ruin his day. Mods, plant a tree. Plant a new kind of tree in his backyard. Yeah. City trees are more aggressive with their pollen compared to rural trees. Really? Really? I mean, I guess probably there's some kinds of trees that emit more pollen than others, right? It's like how there's a lot of people who have allergies to, like, birch pollen, but I don't think I've met a lot of people who are allergic to, like, maple. I'm sure they exist. I'm sure they exist, but I feel like they're not very common. Yeah, lactose intolerance is just a skill issue. That one video of someone forcing lactose tolerance by consuming excess dairy. Skill issue. I mean, I guess to be fair, when you're a kid, you definitely consume probably a lot more dairy than you do as an adult, right? Because, I mean, as a kid, I would drink milk at breakfast, right? Whereas, like, as an adult, I guess you don't consume a lot of just straight up milk compared to when you're a kid. Like, you might put milk in your, like, coffee or tea or in your cereal. And maybe you'll have, like, desserts and stuff with milk in it, right? Like ice cream and stuff. And I guess you still eat cheese. But, like, I feel like the amount of dairy you consume as an adult, even if you're not lactose intolerant, is still much lower than how much you were having as a kid. Mods stimulate his immunoglobulins. The immune goblins. Yeah. A lot of milk is good for your bones was unironically an initiative from the US government. Oh yeah, I've heard about that. But I don't know, I remember when I was a kid there was also like milk programs in schools. Oh, no, there was milk programs? What was that? Okay. I remember when I was a kid, at one point they were like, okay, we have chocolate milk and normal milk. And then at some point they're like, okay, we're being a healthy school now, so we're only going to have normal milk. And then everybody just fell off of milk because it turns out that people prefer the sweetened milk. Oh, it was like that for so many things. I remember my school, they did like pizza day, you know, where you're like order your slices ahead of time and then like they deliver it to the classroom. And I remember like at one point there was like, cause pizza day was usually used as like a fundraiser, right? Because, you know, you would pay more for each slice than what the school would pay to get the whole pizza. And I imagine the school was probably getting a deal, like they probably had like some special deal with a pizza place. But no, I remember like they did pizza a certain way. Then at some point they're like, okay, new rules. It has to be healthy pizza. And then the pizza became so terrible that like pizza day sales just like dropped off a cliff. Like it just completely dropped off a cliff because the healthy pizza was just like so bad that none of the kids actually wanted it. Because it was like whole grain crust. Well, okay, in theory, it's not all bad, right? They were like, okay, it has to be a whole grain crust. It has to be, like, I guess, lower fat cheese. But, like, in practice, it basically was, it was, like, cardboard with tomato sauce and a small amount of cheese on it. I don't know what part of, like, use lower fat cheese made them think that you needed to use less cheese. But, like, even I at the time, I'm like, okay, well, it's pizza. But, yeah. Hello! Ah, konnichiwa, Patamon-san. Yeah, cauliflower crust has come a long way, but it's so expensive in comparison. Yeah. I've also seen, wasn't like cauliflower available as like an alternative for rice for a while in some places? Personally, I'm not a huge cauliflower fan, but... Ooh! Boom! Boom. Cauliflower is the EV foods. It can be anything if you want it, if you do it right. I'm going to disagree on that one. I'm gonna disagree on that one. I disagree. I disagree. No. No, I disagree. I do not agree with that statement. It's. I think the thing with cauliflower is like, yeah, you can turn it into anything, but it's still gonna taste like cauliflower. It's still at the end of the day, it's still gonna be cauliflower. Person of the cold nation would definitely like the flower of hot California. What? Is cauliflower from California? It's not cauliflower.
Boom.
Okay, it can't be a milkshake. Well, like, okay, I guess. I mean, okay. I remember at one point my parents were trying to do keto. I say trying. They were succeeding at doing keto, but like, they were doing keto for a while, and
Boom.
so many things in keto get substituted for specifically cream cheese and cauliflower. Including things that should not be, like, I think my mom at one point had like a keto pizza crust that was made with cauliflower, and it was not especially good. Like, to me, it's like, cauliflower is cauliflower. I guess it's like tofu, I guess. Because, like, you know how here a lot of the times when, like, people who say they don't like tofu, it's because, like, they ate tofu when it was being used as a substitute for something else? Whereas, like, if you eat tofu as its own food and you prepare it as its own thing, instead of as, like, a vegetarian alternative for a type of meat, it usually turns out better. So it tastes like that, but if you're gonna make mashed potatoes with a ton of salt and butter anyway, you might not tell the difference. That's true, that's true. But, like, again, as an alternative for grains, I feel. Maybe it would work as an alternative for potatoes, you're right. But as an alternative for grains, no. 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 Yes. Big win. Big eggy win. Yes. Giant hand. Enormous. If your goal is to substitute potatoes, you are stupid. I mean, okay, sometimes there's just a lot of unnecessary starch. Like, yeah. Just be magnanimous in victory. Boom. Most filling carb good starches. I always feel better after eating potato. I don't know. I'm actually not the biggest fan of potato. Like, I like French fries as much as the next person. But, like, I think most people enjoy things when they're deep fried, so I don't think that's, like... It's not difficult to dislike French fries, right? Or any kind of, like, deep fried, you know, like hash browns and stuff. But I would say I'm not a fan of baked potato. Or boiled potato. Even mashed potatoes I can live without. Like, I feel like maybe, like if I'm at Thanksgiving dinner, I'll have some mashed potatoes, but, like, if you give me a choice between, like, okay, your carb for this meal can be mashed potatoes or it can be bread, I'm gonna pick the bread every time. I'm not a big potato person. The only reason I don't care for baked potatoes, it's unwieldy to cut and eat. I think for me, it's just like, the potato itself doesn't taste like much, right? And I know the correct answer that everyone's gonna say is like, oh, just put a bunch of stuff on it. That's why you gotta put like butter and bacon and cheese and sour cream and stuff on it. But like the thing is that for me, it's like, it doesn't matter how much stuff you add onto it. It's still gonna, the potato itself is still just gonna taste like potato, right? My experience is all the stuff just slides off, and then you're just stuck with a potato that tastes like potato. Plain cooked potato is not your thing? Not especially, no. Yeah, I guess your potatoes are too soft. Like, for baked potatoes? I don't know if we have a different variety of potato here in Canada. Maybe we do. How about skins? Like, potato skins? I don't know if I've ever straight up just had potato skins. Like, I've eaten the skin of a potato because, like, as part of a baked potato. But I love potato skin in my mashed potatoes. Oh yeah, I think usually I've always had the potatoes peeled when we've had mashed potatoes. Yeah, mashed potatoes need a good main dish like steak or ham. That's true. I feel like every time I've had mashed potatoes, they were never like the star of the meal, right? Like it's always like it's the side dish to like the tasty steak or whatever it is you're eating, right? I mean, I guess maybe if your steak really sucks, then I guess they can become the star of the meal, but like I don't know. The other day I went out to I had a Japanese restaurant. I went to a Japanese restaurant and I had like it was like an onigiri combo. And it was like 2 onigiri and then like miso soup and then some vegetables. And the onigiri were like they were mid. They were fine. But like the miso soup was like really good actually. Like I think they added some kind of like not like chili flakes because the miso soup wasn't like spicy, but it was like kind of a warmer flavor compared to what I'm used to. I was like, yeah, that's tasty. That's yummy. I liked that. That was the first time where I'm like, wow, the miso soup was the standout. Yeah. We have a local chain where the potato is in fact the main dish. I guess there are like French fry restaurants. Like restaurants that specifically do fries. I guess there is that. Yeah. Yeah, I love a good miso soup, especially in spring when allergies got me plugged up. Miso soup is good all year round. Always good miso soup. No, that was the wrong tile. Nah. Like, okay, actually, I know there are French fry places. Okay, there's this one place I remember, like, I was out one day. So, there is a chain from the Philippines, called Potato Corner. And I was out one day and I saw that they had opened one, and I'm like, I remember like looking them up and it was like, oh yeah, we're a huge chain from the Philippines. And I'm like, I've never heard, like, I know people who are from the Philippines or who have been to the Philippines, and I've never heard them mention this. And then I remember like being like, okay, maybe are they actually that popular? I have no idea. And then I remember telling Elliot and Z about this, and they have actually been to the Philippines, and they're like, you guys have Poco? And I'm like, I didn't know that. So apparently it is actually a thing. It is actually a big thing. I just had not heard of it before, I guess. Everybody was too busy talking about Jollibee. I still haven't eaten there, though. Maybe I'll go there one of these days. I think waxy potatoes might simply not be much of a thing in Canada. Waxy potatoes? Like, in what regard? Kind of want to try a whole potato fried now. Would that be good, though? I feel like the deep frying would only affect the outside. Maybe if they were like the mini potatoes, like the little guys. I'm kind of curious about what chains are big abroad. Yeah, I always find it interesting when there's like a chain that's like everywhere in one country and then you go somewhere else and they've never heard of it before. Oh, like I was visiting my cousin in Korea and there was a Timmy's in her building. Oh, I saw a thing the other day. In Korea, I think there was like some kind of like Anne of Green Gables promotion going on at Tim Hortons in Korea. And I'm like, how are we being out-Canadianed? We're being out-Canadianed by the foreign branch of our own chain. Like Anne of Green Gables collaboration at like event at Tim Hortons. That should be something happening here. Why are we being out-Canadianed by Tim Hortons of South Korea? How could... We're losing at our own game. Hello, Ezra Sniper. Hello. Anne of Green Gables is huge in Japan, though. Yeah. Definitely. Anne of Green Gables recently? Yeah. I think that I saw this like a couple months ago. But yeah, Anne of Green Gables has always been big in Japan. I don't know how big it is in Korea. I know it got like a new anime adaptation last year too. There's been like multiple anime adaptations of Anne of Green Gables, I think. Like, Japan really likes Anne of Green Gables.
Boom.
Oh, huh, yeah, like, I'd imagine, like, the primary import, culturally, that Canada has brought to Japan is probably Anne of Green Gables. Akage no An. Yeah. Canada loses both men's and women's hockey in the Olympics, and Tim Hortons is bigger in Korea. Why does Canada even exist anymore? We're getting out Canada'd. Yeah, we're getting out Canada'd by every other country. Because Beaver Tails had locations in Japan. Wait, really? Do you know where, by any chance? Yeah, we can buy all three kinds in Germany at certain stores. There's even more choices. Oh, for potatoes. For potatoes. I did talk with an owner of a Canadian bar in Osaka. Apparently they had got hit with a cease and desist for their Beaver Tails. What, from like Beaver Tails International? Jiyugaoka, apparently. Ah, okay. Because like, I'm trying to think. I don't think there's Tim Hortons in Japan. I'm trying to think if there's any like specifically Canadian franchises that I remember. I don't remember seeing any while I was there. Because even a lot of American fast food places don't have locations there either. I'm just gonna throw all my tiles. All of them away. Yeah, New York and Washington State have Tim Hortons, but that's about it. Yeah. I know that some Canadian franchises that have locations specifically in Florida, because a lot of like, I guess a lot of Canadian retirees will go to Florida for like the winter. So I know that that's like, I know there's a breakfast place called Cora's in Canada, like a brunch chain, and I think they have a location in Florida if I remember correctly, or they did at one point. Just because I guess there was like enough Canadian retirees around there to like support it. Plus the vacation crowd, I'm sure. Yeah, that too. Yeah. I just can't eat fast food anymore. I have Taco Bell about every 3 or 4 months and I regret it for several days. Yes, I keep doing it because I'm not smart. I don't know. For me, I'm like, I am trying to lose weight and I am mostly succeeding so far, but so, I mean, I haven't been eating as much fast food for that reason, but I don't know. It's one of those things that I'm like, on one hand, I know there are things I shouldn't eat very often, but on the other hand, like, I don't want to become like my parents. With all due respect to my parents, they are the kinds of people who, like, eat so healthy that it affects the flexibility, because sometimes you're on a road trip and the only place to eat along the highway is McDonald's. Sometimes it just happens. Yeah. Doing keto, you doing something special or plain old calorie counting? Nothing wrong with that. Just plain old calorie counting. Because I find that, like, if I try to do a thing that tells me to cut an entire category of food out of my diet, I'm just not able to do it, right? Calorie counting, I think, works better for me because it's like, I can still technically eat whatever I want, I just have to eat it in portions that fit within the number, right? So usually I find it a little easier. I wouldn't recommend it to everybody, but I think if you can do it without going insane, then If it works for you, it works for you. Yeah. It's far less risky as far as changing your gut biome, so less upset stomach than something extreme like paleo or keto. Yeah. Again, it's something that I've done on and off, like, in the past few years as well. I just find it, I don't know, it's more flexible compared to, like, trying to, like, because, yeah, you can just eat less of stuff. Like, personally, I still eat sugar, I just eat, like, less of it. Like, you can actually have, like, 2 gummies a day. If you like gummy worms, you can eat 2 gummy worms a day. And you'll be fine. Yeah. I think of one Ontario invented food that made in Japan, that's Hawaiian pizza. Yeah! Wait, I don't remember seeing Hawaiian pizza when I was there, but maybe I just didn't look in enough pizza places. I guess Japan is known for putting things on pizza that people here like to argue about. I will die on corn pizza hill. Corn pizza is yummy. Especially if it has like a barbecue or like smoky flavored sauce. I will die on corn pizza hill. I will go to war against potato on pizza. That one I cannot stand for, but yeah. Yeah, smaller portions and make sure you work it off. Yeah, yeah. Well, because also too, the other thing is that like I am not a very big person in the first place. I am like 5'2", right? So for somebody, because like the smaller you are, the harder it can be to lose weight, because like if you don't need that many calories to exist in the first place, then like the amount that you need to not eat in order to like actually lose weight is like your calorie count is going to be much lower than it might be for somebody else who's bigger and trying to lose weight. So yeah, for me it's like that's the other thing, is that like even if I did go for something like keto, it's like, would it even work? Because I just don't think the math would equal out. But on the other hand, I guess keto did work for my mom, and my mom is even shorter than me, so. But yeah, ever tried the Japanese seafood pizza? I mean, I've tried seafood pizzas here. I don't see anything wrong with putting fish on pizza. Like, it's just like any other meat, really. Yeah. But proportional to a 250-pound, 120-kilogram person, fewer calories satisfies you. True, yeah. I can't eat as much, but also I don't need as much. But it is kind of a double-edged thing, right? Because sometimes it's like, there are certain things you could eat that aren't filling, right? But I guess usually those are things that are like, that's also the same case for everybody else too. Like, you can very easily go to any given fast food place and eat 1,000 calories and still want to eat more stuff after, right? But I feel like that kind of happens to everybody at every size. Yeah, pizza may be the most famous Western context for intro. True! True! That is, like, the fish for pizza. But I don't know, I've had pizza with, like, shrimp on it, too. That's pretty tasty. Yeah. Yeah, if you committed to track all the calories, I might give you more info on where they're coming from, though that might mean carrying a small food scale. Oh, I already used the food scale. I mean, obviously I don't do that for restaurants, because that is insane person behavior, I think. But for like cooking at home, I use food scale. Honestly, for a lot of cooking things, it's still good to use a food scale anyway. But like, just for like precision reasons. Like, I know my mom actually bought a food scale as well, but she uses it mostly for baking. Because, like, if you have a recipe that calls for, like, you know, 15 grams of something, usually it's, like, it's a more exact measurement compared to, like, you know, like, cups and tablespoons. So, yeah, usually I do use the food scale to, like, measure things that might not be super precise. Yeah. Far more narrow in baking than stovetop. Yeah, yeah. Because, like, sometimes, I guess, depending on, like, the bowls and spoons and stuff that you're using, like, there definitely can be, like, discrepancies between, like, the measurements. Like, one tablespoon might be slightly different depending on what you're using and how tightly you pack it and such. So yeah, it's usually better, it's more exact to go with grams. But does Eggy eat pineapple on her pizza? Yes. I do like pineapple on pizza. Yummy. Are Canadian food portions of sit-down restaurants or fast casual that big too? I would say they're not that far off from the US. We like to dunk on the States for these kinds of things, but they're not that far off. I think the big difference for Canadian sizing a lot is drinks. Because, like, I found that drink sizing in the US is much different. Like, a medium drink here is usually a small in the States. Like, everything in the States is, like, one size up. So, like, a medium drink here would be a small there, and, like, a large drink here would be a medium. So, like... But, like, if you're not drinking something with a lot of sugar in it, then it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I think that's usually the big difference. I feel like I don't notice a big difference when it comes to, like, portion sizes for food between US and Canada. Definitely noticed it between Canada and Japan, but not for US Canada. Nice, Eggy, thanks you. Welcome to the Resistance. Who are we thanking? Who are we thanking? Oh, the pineapple and pizza resistance. Yeah. Small, medium, large is probably about 24, 32, 44 ounces here in the US. What? Who needs 44 ounces of anything? Is that like a jug? Because I think here, I think small is usually like 16 ounces, I think. And then medium, yeah, I think it's small is 16, and then medium is like 24, and then large would be 32. I don't think anybody has 44 of anything unless you're buying like a jug of it. Ever heard of a big gulp? Okay, to be fair, I think we do have those here too. But like, yeah, you can get a liter of cola. Pun intended. Yeah, a liter. Yeah, small can be 12 to 16 ounces if there's a kid's menu. Yeah, that's true, that's true. Some places will also have like extra small, extra large kind of thing, but... Yeah. But yeah, no, I think... I don't know, maybe the US has like slightly bigger sizes for like fries, but I can't imagine like burger is much bigger, right? One liter of cola movie references. I have bold of you to assume I have watched movies. I do not watch movie. Ah! Do you find it funny that I grew up knowing that cans are 355 milliliters and bottles are 571 milliliters and still have no idea how intuitively how many ounces those are? I think the other thing too is like, could I, if you showed me a bottle and asked me like, okay, how many milliliters is in this? I could probably guess it pretty correctly. But if you asked me to pour out 100 milliliters of something, I would not be able to do it. Like if you gave me like a glass of water and no measuring cup and said like, pour 100 milliliters or pour like 250 milliliters, I don't think I'd be able to do it. Like it would be entirely guesswork and I'd probably be super off. All I know is most water bottles are 500 milliliters. Yeah, yeah. Cans are usually like 355. I don't think of anything else. You can get bottles that are like 1 liter. A liter is like 1,000 milliliters. I say like, it is 1,000 milliliters. Yeah. 12 ounces is a can of pop and that's small? Yeah. So in some places. I think it also differs between hot drinks and cold drinks. Because I've definitely gotten 12-ounce drinks at, like, Starbucks, but they were, like, hot, right? They were, like, hot coffee. Which I guess, because, like, when you have, cold drinks. You have to account for space for like ice and stuff, right? Which you don't really have to do if it's like something warm. Yeah. Yeah, coffee sizes are their own scale. Yeah. I know. Yeah, again, hot drinks are their own different. I've definitely had 12-ounce hot drinks though. Usually that's the small here. Lychee. Oh, thank God that's not my problem. Not my problem. I mean, I'm in second place, so that kind of is my problem. But I didn't get hit, so 'tis not my problem. Not my problem. Good game. Yes, congratulations to X-Rock. And thank you, Taishi. And thank you, Nanora, for playing. Rest in peace, Nanora. Yes, thank you. Thank you. This was punishment for not being ready at the start. Nanora has been sitting here waiting all day for Mahjong Monday just to lose. Just to get 4th place. Waiting 9,000 years to lose at Mahjong. Yeah, it's wild to think a large drink is like almost a bottle of pop in size. Americans be scared. Yeah. Yeah. So is the go-to game on the Switch 2 for Riichi still 51 Clubhouse games? I have no idea. I don't have a Switch 2. I also have, I don't think I have a single Zhong game on the Switch 1. Yeah, let me check. I mean, maybe I'm wrong? I have my Switch right here. Yeah, I don't think I even have any Switch games that have a Zhong. Yeah, I don't... None of my Switch games have Zhong, I don't think. Again, unless there's some game that has like super secret Mahjong mode that they decided to not tell you about. Everything is Zhongless. I'm Zhongless on the Switch. I only Zhong on the PC. Good luck Zhonging Eggy and Eggplants. I must eat. Have sleeping. Have sleeping. Have good sleeping. I don't know. I'm hoping to have good sleeping tonight. Last night I had bad sleeping. I think because I had a job interview today, I was really stressed about waking up on time to be able to like leave on time. So like I don't know. And also too, I think it's one of those things. Do you ever have a dream where you're stressed and then you wake up and then you're still stressed about whatever was going on in the dream? Despite the fact that like it was, you know, it wasn't real, but you still feel stressed about it. That kept happening to me this morning. It's like I would wake up, okay, I was having a dream, I'm stressed, my alarm goes off. Or my first one goes off. I wake up, I'm stressed, I fall back asleep, I'm still stressed in the dream. Second alarm goes off. I don't know, I don't remember what I was stressed about, but evidently it felt important enough that I felt the need to go back to sleep. Yeah. Wish I could join, but I'm still at work. Nah! I hope your break is very soon. I'll probably still go. It's 10:30. I'll probably still go for another half an hour or so. Yeah. But your brain can't differentiate what's a dream while it's happening. Yeah, well, it's like once you're awake, you know, and yet I was still stressed about it. I mean, I guess sometimes that can happen too with other things, right? Like, you know, you have like a dream where you get scared and then you wake up and like, you know, you're aware that that was a dream, but like you're still experiencing like the physical effects of being scared. Yeah. You dreamt rent was due? No, actually, I'm trying to remember what was my dream about? I think it might have been a scheduling conflict. I think I had a dream where two different people needed me to be in two different places at once. I think I was dreaming about a scheduling conflict. I don't know why I was so stressed about it. It must have been an important... Oh, no, I remember. It was a scheduling conflict. I remember. I was stressed because I was at... Okay, my dream, I remember now. I was at an airport, and I was like, okay, I am going to get on this plane, and then once I get home, I have to be in a collab, because I said I was going to be in a collab. With who? I don't remember. It was like a VTuber streaming collab, and I'm like, okay, when I get home, I need to be in this collab. And then in my dream, my flight kept getting delayed, and I was like, okay, I should cancel this collab. I should tell them that I can't come. But then I was like, but then I'm gonna come off as flaky. I don't know why, because like if I was even in a dream, it's like if I'm in the airport on an airplane, I obviously can't participate. But I'm like, they're gonna think I'm flaky. They're gonna think I'm like I'm dropping out on them in the last minute. And then I woke up, but I was still stressed about it, and I fell back asleep. And then I guess in my dream, the plane continued to get delayed. That was my dream. And now, like, after waking up, you look back on it, you're like, it's just a collab. I think it's because our dreams are something, or subconscious, so it's something we're afraid of unconsciously. I guess being afraid of being seen as, like, flaky and unreliable, I guess that is, like, a fair fear to have. But, like, also, why did that manifest as being late for a VTuber collab? Like, with all due respect, it's a VTuber collab. Dream stream collab partner be like, just stream on the plane Wi-Fi. Like, what do you mean you couldn't get home on time? You should have just gotten on an earlier flight. Foolish. Then I wake up and realize, dang, I still have to do the work. Unfortunate. Alright. Let's begin. Everyone is ready. Thank you for being ready. Here. Yeah. Like, this could have manifested in any way. No. VTuber collab. Now that I think of it, I'm trying to remember if I've ever had a dream about streaming. Like, I've definitely had a dream about, like, watching a stream. But it wasn't my own. It wasn't my own stream. And I've had dreams where I'm meeting VTubers. Or where I'm meeting, like, my own VTuber friends. They've definitely shown up in my dreams. I don't know if I've had a dream about streaming. Like, actually being live in my dream. Like, I've definitely heard of other streamers saying that they've had that, but I don't think it hasn't happened to me yet. It'll happen one of these days. I had a dream that went lucid when I realized a VTuber couldn't use their 3D model IRL. I don't know, it's really weird because, like, when VTubers appear in my dreams, I feel like, even if it's people I know, like people I've met in person, sometimes they show up differently. Like, sometimes I've had dreams where, like, the VTuber shows up as, like, just like a 3D model, but in real life. I've had other dreams where they look like a cosplayer, where it's like somebody that's like dressed up as them, but it's actually them. Or like it's like a person. There's been other dreams I've had where it's just like a random person. It's like a random person, and my brain is just telling me that it's like, yeah, this is this person. But yeah. If I remember correctly, we don't know why, but despite phones being attached to our hips 24/7, we rarely see them in dreams. True. I mean, I guess maybe too. It might depend. Because I found that, like, the less I do, the less interesting my life is, the more interesting my dreams get. The weirder my dreams get. I guess maybe it's like my brain is, like, desperate to do something. Because I remember having a lot of, like, really, really, really vivid dreams at the beginning of lockdown. Because I guess I was, like, not going anywhere, not doing anything particularly interesting. So I don't know, I guess my brain was just, like, going insane, going wild every time I went to bed. Or maybe it was just that there was so little happening while I was awake that, like, my brain, I guess maybe the dream stuck out more? But I definitely remember my dreams around that time being like more vivid. You know that red monster character from like Looney Tunes cartoons? I used to have nightmares about that guy. The red monster character? Like the Tasmanian devil? Is he red? I don't remember. I don't remember what color he is. I crave adventure. Go somewhere. I don't know. I'm trying to remember, like, if I ever really have... I didn't have nightmares that much as a kid, but I feel like the ones I did have were so weirdly specific that I don't think they're even worth, like, recounting, because, like, they're scary only to me. They're scary only to me. I have niche fears. Gossamer? I had to Google him Gossamer. I've never heard of... Is he like a lesser known Looney Tunes character? I don't think I've ever heard of this guy. Eggy Nightmare. Loud movie logo. Unironically, sometimes, yeah. Like, sometimes my nightmares are like, I was watching a movie at the movie. Like I said, my fears are niche. F? What do you mean, F question mark? Hold? What's wrong? What's wrong? Oh, Twitch stream died? Uh-oh. Still seems going on my end. Uh-oh. Bitrate? The bitrate just, like, plummeted. Bizarre. I hope this doesn't stream stuttered for a bit. Okay. Are we back? Are we back?
She.
Looks like we're back. It looks like we're back. Okay. We're alive. We're alive and we're back and we're alive and we're back and we're good. And everything is fine. No! I pressed the wrong button! It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Weird that the stream stuttered, but No! I missed my chance! I missed my chance because I picked the wrong button. Ooh. 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 Yeah, YouTube skipped a bit too. Oh, interesting that, like, the game didn't crash. Like, the game didn't disconnect, but the stream did. Very strange and unusual. I think it might have been, I don't know if it was a problem on my end or if it was on Twitch's end. There. Are you kidding me? Nah! Nah! Unfair. 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 Actually, that one doesn't count because, the internet broke. It doesn't count. It doesn't count. Do you guys ever do the thing? I don't know if this is a Canada thing or if there was just, like, a thing at my school. But did you guys ever do the thing as kids, and maybe as adults, where, like, every time you see a Volkswagen Beetle, like, out in the wild on the road, you go, like, punch buggy, no punchbacks? Or was that just, like, something unique to where I grew up? I hated that. See, with my family, the way we came up with it well, I mean, we didn't invent it, but like the way we played it is that there's punch buggy, no punch back. So you see a punch buggy, you punch buggy, no punch backs. But there's also a second part of the game where you have to come up with a reason why that one doesn't count. So like, if you're like punch buggy, no punch backs, then like you can be like, oh, I was driving, so I wasn't looking, so it doesn't count. Like that's the real punch buggy, no punch backs games with my family. Is you have to come up with a reason why that one didn't count. It's like, sorry, that was on your side and it wasn't on my side of the vehicle, so it doesn't count. Or I don't have my glasses on right now, so I couldn't see it, so it doesn't count. Yeah. I was a younger sibling, can you tell? Were you always bean to the punch buggy, no punch back? Oh yeah, we had that too. Also yellow card. That one we did not have, I don't think. What was yellow card? Would you just show yellow card? We are being beaten to death by Kari. Oh, we are all deceased. We are all deceased. We are dead. I was not expecting to Rinshan on this day. Kari is also surprised by this outcome. But yeah, maybe Mahjong. Mahjong with excuses. I should be like, actually, I was in Foodie 10, so, that doesn't count. I mean, I guess if you screw up your hand, if you chombo, then I guess that's just normal then. It's like Punch Buggy, but with yellow cars instead. Ah. Yeah, see, I don't think we had that one. I don't think we had that one. But maybe these kinds of games probably have like, there's probably like a regional element to it. Like, did you guys have, Stella Ella Ola as a kid? Like, it was like a clapping game, where you'd like sit in a circle and there was like a little song and then whoever, like, it's like you had like one hand above the other person's hand and then one hand below. So it's like you were passing around the, like, I guess you would clap the other person's hand. So it's like you were like passing something around. So, yeah, we had that. And it was like, but I remember the song. The song had different lyrics. Because I remember, like, when I was a kid, I lived in one place. I grew up in one city, and then I moved to a different city where the lyrics were different. Like, the version people grew up with, I guess, was different. So I looked like a fool. Because where I grew up, it was like, Stella, Ella, Ola, clap, 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 sing, S-Chico, Chico, 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 tap, tap, S-Chico, Chico, blow, blow, blow your nose and Cheerios, sing 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you, like, keep counting up. But when I moved, the new place, the new city was, the first half of the song was the same. But then it goes, S-Chico, Chico. It was something like, Aloha, Aloha, the toilet overflowa, and then you do the counting. But, I just remember, yeah, I look like a fool. I look like a fool. I was the one person, everyone's talking about the toilet overflowa, and I'm like the one person talking about blowing your nose in Cheerios. And they're like, what are you on about? Kari has been, I was gonna say Kari's been taken down a peg, but oh, she's still in first. But like, I don't know, maybe there's like even more regional variations of Stella Ella Ola that I'm just like not aware of. Stella Ella Ola. Oh, there's like, are they documented on the Wikipedia page? Did I just like dox myself? Did I dox myself via Stella Ella Ola? I think I might have had the toilet overflow version, though I feel like that wasn't quite it either. I mean, there might have been, there was also another version I've heard as a kid, again, in the same city from Blow Your Nose and Cheerios, that just would go blow, 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 blow. But usually I guess that's like parents who thought that blowing your nose in Cheerios was too vulgar. But yeah. Never heard of it. Again, maybe this is a Canadian thing. Maybe this kind of game just doesn't exist in the US. Because, like, what else was there in Canada? There was, because I guess I went to a lot of, like, day camps as a kid. So there's, like, I feel like there's, like, a specific repertoire of, like, or sometimes, like, if you're going somewhere to, like, keep the group together so that they can all find each other. So you have, like, a call and response ones that's like, this is a repeat after me song. And then everybody goes, this is a repeat after me song. No. Yeah. So, oh, specific to Main Street, Eggy City, Canada, nowhere else. Yeah, I remember this, yeah. Because, like, what was the few ones? It was like there was a great big mouse who liked to drink a lot of juice, who liked to drink a lot of juice. Was that one? Or what was the other one? The princess Pat lived in a tree, She sailed across the 7 seas. There was, like, hand gestures to go with this one, too, but obviously I can't show them to you. Because I don't have hands right now. Did stream die again? I know the game disconnected for a second. Nope. Okay, looks like we're alive. We're alive. Yeah, it pops up in England. Oh, thank you. Hold on. Thank you, LARP Happily. Thank you for spreading. Yeah, it pops up in England and the US too, it seems. Yeah, I mean, a lot of these I imagine probably spread when, like, you know, families move and the kids move somewhere else. Yeah. It's always been a bit stuttery, but not that much. Okay. The row, row, row your boat where you're supposed to sing the lines in sequence with different groups at the same time. That one, I don't think we had. Like, doing it as a round? I don't think we did that one at camp because I think it was a little complicated to do with small children. Because, like, I feel like... I guess even if it's a song that, like, everyone knows. Because, like, a lot of the Repeat After Me songs, like, they were not sung as much as they were just, like, shouted. Like, you would go, like, the Princess Pat, and the kids would go, like, the Princess Pat! Lived in a tree, lived in a tree. Like, this is like children shouting these. Like, there was not much paying attention to, like, the actual notes and melody of the song. Because, again, the purpose of the song was to pass time when you were kind of in between activities. Or to, you know, if you're going somewhere and you were walking as a group, to make sure that, like, everybody could follow along. I didn't plan this. What are you about to do? What's about to happen? Did you 13 orphans? Okay. Really now? Really now? Really now? In my own stream? Are you playing with viewers? Yes. Oh, is the code not pinned? Oh no, the code went... the code should be pinned. I don't know if it's still pinned. I think it might have disappeared. I think it might have disappeared when the stream stuttered, I think. But yes, you'll be able to see the code again once we go back. I don't know what's with these hands. Too powerful. Doing, like, the Mahjong equivalent of, like, shaking someone's hand and, like, breaking one of their fingers. Just due to sheer strength. 19079. Yes, I'm gonna pin that again. Thank you, Pen Boo. Let me pin that. There we go. No. Yeah, just powerful. You, like, open a door, or you close a door, and it just, like, slams. Like, oh no, what have I done? I don't know, I remember, like, when I was in high school, when we moved houses, the house we moved to, like, the doors were, like, really light. Because I guess the house we were living in before, it was an older house, and I guess the doors were made out of, like, really, really solid, heavy wood. But then when we moved, the doors, the new place, like, the doors were made out of, like, some kind of, like, particle board kind of thing. maybe not particle board, but it was like a much lighter wood, which meant that like if the door was open in a room and the window was open and it was windy, then the door would just slam shut. And it took a while. It took a while for my parents to get used to that because I remember they used to just think me and my sister were just slamming our doors all the time when we first moved in.
悪いな。ここは通行止めだ。
Making like a dent. Unsurprisingly. I'll try to join if that's okay. My name is not the same as the Twitch though. That is fine. I'm not picky. As long as it's not like anything offensive or anything. But I don't think Mahjong Soul lets you choose names like that anyway. So you're good. You're good. Good job, Kari, for beating us to death thoroughly. Thank you, Yellow Ash, and thank you, Punk Asian. Thank you for playing. We have been thoroughly beaten to death. But yes, feel free to hop in. And Blair when I join for preference. All good, all good. My bedroom door will sometimes close itself when the AC stops. Wait, when it stops? Is the AC like what's keeping your door open somehow? Water the eggplants? Oh, sure. There. You stopped my Yakuman earlier? Wait, so there was like 2 Yakumans going on? We could have been murdered twice? Just aggressive. Finally, our taxes go to use watering us. Well, I mean, taxes will pay for the water system, the pipes and such. And thank you, Rummy, for paying your taxes, though. Taxes. Eggy, I need your fashion insight. About what? Oh, and thank you, Penboo, for paying your taxes. Ah, it's the EGGY guy, but not the guy that goes run, run, run. Alright, okay, we got it. Make sure to hit ready if you are ready. I'm drawing a sundress that's like a pale pink white. What color shoes do I pair? I mean, I feel like you can't go wrong with white shoes. I'm assuming it's like a summer outfit, right? So I feel like even white sandals might not look too out of place. That's my personal opinion, I feel. Like white or... You say sundress, so I'm assuming it's like kind of a summery outfit, right? No, this is Akagi Washizu. Washizu's the old guy. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because I know there's been people here that play as Washizu pretty frequently. People going run, run, run. Socks and sandals, Lemke Crux. You know what? Socks and sandals are not that bad. It really depends on the kind of sock and the kind of sandal. But also, I'm actually really not that much of a sandals person to begin with, so maybe that's just my anti-sandal bias showing. I don't know. Maybe I am losing my youthful spirit. Because I feel like I wore sandals all the time when I was younger. And yet somehow, now that I'm older, I feel like I'm always like, every time I wear sandals, I'm like, my feet are so dirty. Like, I get home and I feel gross because my feet are just, like, covered in dust from the ground. And I'm like, maybe I'm losing my youthful spirit. I mean, Tabby and Get are technically socks and sandals. Yeah, like I said, it depends on the sock and depends on the sandal. Even, like, the thing a few years ago that people would do where they would have, like, you know what? Maybe I will. That didn't take the tile that I'm not smart. Never mind. Okay. I'm like, oh yes, I can do chi on this. That was Palm. I'm foolish. Yeah. Might have shot myself in the foot because I did fanciest shoes. How fancy are we talking? Yeah, I don't like my toes open to the world when I do anything real. Taking a trash out or drive through, flip-flops are fine, but outside that, no. Yeah, I guess it's like, yeah, if you're just leaving the house for like 2 seconds, right? But yeah, it's maybe I'm old and I'm like, oh, the arch support. But like, also the shoes I wear they're not exactly like the most orthopedically comfortable either. Cause yeah, like when I was a kid, I would wear sandals all the time, and then now I'm just like my feet. Maybe I'm just less willing to be dirty than I was when I was a kid. Like I feel like that's something I've noticed with myself in the past few years. Is I feel like I'm like way less comfortable with being dirty. Like even like just getting sweaty is enough to be like, I don't really want to. If you shot yourself in the foot, choose dark color, choose either bloodstain. Yeah, not like a formal shoe, but definitely the nicer end of summer shoe. Yeah, I would still say, I think my color advice I think still holds though. Like something on the lighter side, I think. I maintain my opinion. I have custom inserts because some of my bones disagree with each other. I mean, I guess some people will get like custom sandals made. I know my parents really liked Birkenstock because I think the Birkenstocks they had were like similar in shape to their usual orthotics. But I'd like to think I'm not that elderly yet. Yeah. It's a super pale pink, almost white dress, so I figured maybe beige. I'm not sure I can find a shade I like. I mean, beige is fine too. I think the key is just don't go for anything darker than the dress, I would say. Like, don't go for like gray or like navy or anything. I know why I'm contributing colorblind. Well, I'm pretty sure you can probably still differentiate when something is like a lighter color versus a darker color, right? Yeah. Still gotta do dinner, maybe I'll eat over it. Hasty drawing. No, I need to, I don't know. Part of me lately wants to get new clothes, but I'm also like so picky lately about what clothes I get that I'm like, Yeah. Mahjong Soul NiceEggy. Yeah, I had craft red-green differentiation, but otherwise fine. Have not had, I was not cured. No. I mean, I knew somebody who was like blue colorblind. Oh, I still keep thinking about, what was that one artist once that posted a picture, like they drew a picture and they posted it on Twitter and everybody was like, it was like an anime girl and everyone was like, okay, cute girl, why is she green? Because it turns out that they were colorblind and didn't realize that they were picking off like the wrong side of the color wheel. It was like, oops, nope, she's just green now. Tri-chan, those are rare. Yeah, I know blue color blindness is rare, but I have met somebody who was like blue. Yeah, I saw that, yeah, Piccolo's daughter. She's just glorpy. She's glorpy. But yeah, I'm like, I need to be fashionable again, but I've forgotten how. My standards for myself are falling. I've let them fall. I can't believe I used to be like I remember the job I worked, because like I had a part-time job that I worked from like 2017 until I think like 2021. And I remember, I think there was only one shift out of my entire time working there that I went to work without makeup on. And that was like during lockdowns when the store was closed and there was no customers and we were just doing inventory stuff, right? That was the only shift out of my entire like 4 and a bit years working there. That was the only time I showed up without makeup. And then the job I had after that, I think it took me like several months working there before I showed up with makeup. Like I don't know. I used to. Some people, it's not that I became more confident in my face without makeup, it's that I became more tired. I didn't stop caring. I just became really tired. And that art face where I'm stuck in choice paralysis and damage myself in my confusion. Oh, like you spend like 3 hours looking up references and like 0 hours actually like drawing them. But yeah, it's just like one of those things where it's like I need to like raise standards for myself again. But like once you've kind of let that fall to the side, it's really hard to get back up, right? I guess nowadays when I go out though, it's mostly to like the gym. So I'm like, I'm not gonna go wear makeup to go sweat it all off, I guess. But like, I don't know. I used to always at least put on something. Maybe I just need to, I don't know. I've been trying to like refresh my makeup collection too, because I feel like a lot of the stuff I have is like really old. I'm kind of mad because like I bought, there was like this like one like lip gloss thing that I had that I was using, and then I lost it. Like I guess I put it in some bag and I forgot which one, and I wasn't able to find it. So I bought another one today, but I'm like, I feel like I'm almost guaranteed to find the first one again. Like it's probably just like sitting in a bag and I haven't found it yet, and then now I'm just gonna be stuck with 2. You know what? Wait, no. Well, you know what? There's not enough tiles left for this to be worthwhile.
Boom.
Do you understand this bit, Eggy? Hold on. I am opening it, but also I still need to keep zhonging. Give me a moment. Zhong must continue. Yeah. Do orange lipstick revitalize the clown era? Orange lipstick doesn't always look clownish. Not if you do it right. There we go. Just parroting what you said. Did I ever say orange? I mean, I guess it can look a little clown. Or it can look like you have tomato sauce on your lips if you do it wrong. Or pick the wrong shade. Some working around just because you work hard doesn't mean you can't look good or some garbage. I don't know, it's like... I was able to do both at once. Maybe I shouldn't be comparing myself to the energy levels I had when I was like 19, but like, I'm not that old. I'm not so old that I can like give up entirely. Or even like dressing nice. I'm like, no. I used to be like I don't think I wore sweatpants until I was like 18. Like at least 17 or 18. To be fair, the sweatpants that they made when I was younger, like they were, the kind that were in style was not particularly like flattering to my figure. But they started making more tapered ones when I was a bit older, and I really like those. But yeah, for years I'm like, sweatpants? I'm too good for sweatpants. But then now it's like, I feel like that's what I keep wearing every day. I mean, again, this might just be another symptom of like, I mostly leave the house to go to the gym, but like, yeah. I need to wear nice things. I feel like I have, because like, again, it used to be every time I went out, it was like, okay, even if I'm just going to do errands, I still want to wear something nice. But then now I'm like, every time I go out, I'm like, it's just the grocery store. And I'm like, no, I can't let myself think like that. How do you not grocery shop in Lolita? I mean, maybe I just got too scared of... I mean, I feel like maybe I'm just, like, more afraid of ruining my stuff now. Like... Because I used to wear, like, when I was in university, at some times of year, like, obviously not in the middle of winter, but, like, in the warmer months, I would be wearing... I would sometimes wear, like, Lolita cords to class, like, you know, maybe once or twice a week at least. Okay, well, it's not my problem. Okay, well, I'm in second place, but so it kind of is my problem. But yeah, it's meant to be admired, not used mindset. Well, no, because I still think clothes should be worn. Like, yeah, obviously not everything's gonna be appropriate for every occasion, but like, I don't like the idea of buying dresses just to collect them. I mean, granted, it might also be right now because, like, there's a lot of dresses that I am keeping, but I can't fit into right now. So I guess maybe I feel like my selection is slimmer. And it will be slimmer until I become slimmer, I guess. But, like, yeah, I guess maybe I feel the need to, like, preserve the ones that I have. But... yeah. It's like, no, I need to become the person who overdresses to go to the grocery store. No. Oh wait, no. That was what I needed. I'm foolish. Man, I hope I don't get a green dragon. Green Dragon Factory. Where are you, Eggy Books, to replenish your dress reserves? Well, it's not always about, like, the money. It's not always about buying new things. It's that, like, there's a lot of dresses that I still like but can't fit into right now. So it's a problem that can't just be solved by buying new dresses, you know? Also, I think I'm a lot pickier than I used to be. Because I feel like when it came to dresses, I used to be like, if I saw something I liked, I would, like, maybe think over it for a few minutes and then I would buy it. Whereas I feel like now I'm like, do I need this? Will I wear it? Like, will I be able to, am I likely to find a good deal on this again? Like, you know, will this accommodate any, if I change my mind later, if I change my wardrobe, can this be used to, like, pivot this to something else? Like, it's like one of those things where I guess I overthink it a bit more now. Or maybe I normal think it. Maybe I was just impulse buying before. I don't think I was impulse buying before. I'm like trying to normal think it. Grossly overdressing is actually really inspiring. It's like, yeah, it's like not everything needs to be an occasion, but also everything can be an occasion, right? Because, like, I do like when I go in public and I see people who are, like, very clearly overdressed for whatever it is that they're doing. Like, they're just, like, at Walmart in, like, I've seen people with, like, over-the-top goth makeup in, like, Walmart. And I'm like, yeah, I appreciate that. I admire that. Yeah, I got stacks of t-shirts, pants, etc. from over the years, from small to XL when I've been different weights. Small clothes if I get healthy again, large clothes if I get fat again. Perfect selection. Yeah, I think my problem is just that, like... the problem with liking Japanese brands is that the sizing is always going to be smaller. So I feel like, you know, if I do get significantly smaller again, then, like, I don't think that, like, the idea of having, like, oh, these are the backup clothes for if I gain weight again, I just don't know if it's going to exist. Because even the stuff I did have that was technically my big clothes are, like, it's like the same 3 things over and over again. But yeah, I think for, like, I don't know. I have a pair of jeans that I bought, and then now I can't wear them because there's a giant hole around like, the thighs because I bought them and then gained like 10 pounds. And they stretch too much. I don't think the Japanese do 2,000 calorie diet as standard. No, I think they do. It's just that, like, when you live there, you actually walk. Which, to be fair, I have been doing more, now that the weather is not garbage. I do try to walk whenever I can. On my eggy legs. You know what? Sure. Because, like, yeah, if you live... At least people who live in the cities. I imagine that, like, the average person in Japan is taking, like, way more steps in a day. Especially if you live in a city. Yeah, aligns better with walkable cities. Yeah, if your city is walkable, you're gonna walk more, right? Because it's also, like, one of those things where it's, like, if your city is walkable, you also don't have to, like, take time out of your day to walk. You're just doing it as part of whatever else you're doing, right? Hello? Hello? Oh, there we go. Man. But yeah. Meanwhile, not walking half mile for lunch in my city. Well, it's like you don't have to walk far. It's just that, like, if you're walking more frequently, I guess, right? Because, like, I think my, like, going to school and back every day when I was there, it was maybe, like, 2,000 steps each way. Because, like, I would take the train, but it was still, like, I had to, like, get to the station. And then I had to, you know, transfer, which I had to walk pretty far for the transfer. And then once I would get off at the station near the school, I'd still have to, like, walk another 10 minutes or so. So, yeah, all in all, it was probably about, like, 2,000 steps each way of walking. And then, yeah, that's assuming that I did absolutely nothing else that day, right? That's assuming I didn't go anywhere else, I didn't go shopping, I didn't, like, you know, that's assuming that, like, I got up, went to school, came back home, and went back to sleep, right? Yeah, it's a huge pain in time sink, and then if the weather's hot or rainy, I gotta get my exercise into dedicated blocks instead. Yeah, you gotta, like, exercise on purpose. Exercising on purpose. I don't know. I've never cared for exercise, but unfortunately you have to do it. How dare they? I mean, I guess for me it's more with exercise is like, as a kid I also didn't exercise much, but I think that also was just because, like, when you're a kid and they're like, okay, we're gonna make you do exercises, it's always sports, and I was not good at sports. So I mostly just associated all exercise with just being bad at stuff. Like, sure makes it easier to walk to and around cons. Well, it's also like, I don't know, I want to be able to get more... I don't know what the word would be for this, but, like, I want to get more fit so that I can, like, be more idle. Not idle like I-D-L-E, but like I-D-O-L. Like, I want to get more fit so that I can, like, sing while moving around better. Because, like, that's something that, like, you need good cardio to be able to do. Like, not necessarily sing while dancing, but, like, to be able to go from, like, you know, sing to dance break to sing. I want to be able to do that better. And in order to do that, you unfortunately do need to exercise. Yeah. Flowy skirts won't flow by themselves. Yeah, it turns out if you move around a lot, you'll get out of breath. And the only way to get less out of breath is to exercise more. Absurd. Getting zero good hands, bro, I'm sobbing. It happens, it happens. Zhong is very much also luck. Very much also luck. practice. I want to be able to maybe not do choreography, but like at least move around. Move around. For better performing. Ooh. Yahoo! Yippee! Aha! Brilliant. Brilliant. We begin with the Macarena. Well, no, my issue with dancing, I think, actually, is that, I guess it's not that I'm uncoordinated. I think it's just that, like, I have a hard time learning choreography and remembering it. Because, like, I guess it's a bit like how, you know, some people, if you play them a melody, they can sing it back to you, and some people can't. Whereas for me, I feel like I'm kind of the same with dancing, right? Like, I know there's people who can just, like, watch a dance and then do it back. But for me, it's like, it's just not that intuitive. It's not that intuitive for me. Like, I think the only times I've been able to learn dances were either when somebody was, like, there was, like, a choreographer there that was, like, explaining it to me. Or, like, if I have, like, a very, very slowed down, mirrored version of the dance available. Did you hear about Tenma? What happened to Tenma? Is this also dance related? Should I say to memorize something like 4 dances in 10 days? What? 4 dances? Were they like long dances? Were they complicated? Or was it like kind of like idle step clap? Cause yeah, like I'm just the hokey pokey, the chicken dance. Well, it's like those are ones that are like impossible to fail. No, I would have trouble sometimes with honestly, I'm surprised I didn't injure myself this way. I remember like many years ago I tried learning snow halation, and like sometimes I do the thing, you know how sometimes where you like do the thing where you like cross your legs and then spin to kind of uncross them? But in order to uncross them that way, right, you have to spin the opposite direction that they're crossed, right? So that like and if you spin them the other way, then you're just gonna spin them into each other, and then you're gonna like fall over, or I guess, I don't know, hurt your leg if you do it with enough force. I'm surprised I didn't hurt my leg that way. Because I would have so much trouble where it's like, there'd be a move like that where it's like, okay, cross my feet to prepare for the spin, and then I proceed to spin in the wrong direction. And then I go, whoa. Yeah, I couldn't say not sure about Sound of Complex. For the recent phase event, I know very little about. Yeah, I wonder, because, like, I know that, like, finding VTubers who dance is, like, it's not impossible. There's plenty of VTubers who dance, but I feel like it's not always, like, a skill set that is had by people who sit at a computer for many hours a day, right? I had to learn choreo for a wedding for the first time in decades, late last year, and it was pretty rough that way. Yeah, well, I guess also too, like, if it's not something you're usually doing, it's also just like, you know, a brain muscle that doesn't get exercised much. Yeah. Consider Filion very physically fit, but somehow I doubt she can idol dance. Well, it's like I said, it's not always about like strength and fitness. It's also about like coordination and, I guess, yeah, like being able to watch something and reproduce it with your own body is like, that's a completely separate skill. Like, you could be in the gym for like hours and hours a day and still not, you're still not going to be any closer to getting good at that, right? I feel like it's also a setup thing. Yeah, well, I'm not talking VTubers who dance in terms of VTubers who have the setup to do so, but more like VTubers who are good at dancing. Because, like, I know there are many VTubers who came in from, like, you know, Idol or, like, Odotte Mite kind of parts of the internet. But, like, again, if you're somebody who is mainly a games streamer, right? Or maybe if you do, like, singing. Not everybody who knows how to sing is necessarily good at dancing, right? They have no style, they have no grace. This eggplant has a funny face. As does this eggy. The eggy falls over. Falls over. Can't handstand even if I need to. Yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, I took gymnastics. I wasn't good at it, but I took gymnastic classes. I remember the teacher always getting on me because I was really bad at keeping my legs straight, apparently. Because I had a habit, I guess, when I would do like cartwheels and stuff, they were never graceful because I was just like using pure momentum to just launch my legs up in the air. Like, instead of like, you know, actually like, you know, I guess flexing my legs, I would just like launch them in the air with like all the momentum I could muster. And because of that, they weren't straight, and my gymnastics teacher was always telling me. But the thing is that she didn't tell me exactly how to keep them straight. Like, she didn't offer me any guidance. She would just say, keep your legs straight, and I was like, how? Nice. Okay. Oh. You may be dead. You are dead. This man is deceased. Alright, thank you for playing Meklam and Blair Chitan, and rest in peace to Taishi. Thank you for playing. I think the next one will be the last one, I think. It's 11:24, so I should probably start winding down. So every time I get dealer, bro, I win. Is it cope or is it skill? Teacher was bad at teaching name and better combo. I don't know. I guess it was more like, I guess that specific teacher seemed to be more accustomed to working with like the more advanced like people. Because like I know that gym also had like a competitive team. So I'm guessing maybe she was just more accustomed to working with people who know how their bodies work, I guess, a little better. Obvious dangerous tile is dangerous. Just don't put down the tile. Just never put down a tile that somebody else needs. That's how you win at Zhong. Oh yeah, I should probably look at the thing that Robert asked me to look at. What am I looking at? Oh, I know what that is. I know what that is. Barely, but I know what that is. Every time I play on Eggies, I get Runchan and then a yuck. It's like, it's a shame that this is only friendlies and none of this matters. Hello, Faye. Good evening. This is the last game. I'm leaving you right after this. Yes, that makes sense. Teaching well is hard. I have trouble with our entry-level guys at work. Sometimes I go to advanced their capacity level and that's a me problem. Yeah. Well, it just like, it depends on like, I guess what you're accustomed, because like even among like school teachers, I know that like usually teachers will have a preference for like, I prefer teaching like high school or middle school or elementary school or like this specific grade. Even like when I was working at summer camps, like I could work with the younger kids, but like I had a strong preference for working with the older kids. I guess maybe just because I felt like I could understand them better. Because, like, that's the thing with, like, with younger kids is that, like, I guess, like, I am not so old that I've forgotten what it's like to be 12, but I feel like I might be too old to remember what it's like to be 5. So I feel like I had trouble connecting with the younger kids in a way that I didn't have trouble with the older kids, I guess just because it's like, you are so young that I don't remember what it's like to be that age, you know? Which I guess isn't, like, necessarily a thing that you need in order to be able to be good at that, but... yeah. Eggy is leaving us, yeah, until Wednesday. Until Wednesday. Maybe even sooner, depending on how I feel tomorrow. Please do not give trauma to the kids. Well, okay, I haven't worked at a day camp also since like 2019, so... The unrelatability is relatable, I guess. Well, I guess it's more like, I remember there was one time where I was like, okay, so it was an arts camp, right? So the kids were like, we want to put on a play this week. So I was like, okay. So I wrote up a little script. I like printed it out. I handed it out. And then the kids are like, we can't read because we are 5 years old. And I'm like, oh, right. Like, I feel like it's like I have forgotten what it's like to be illiterate. Because, again, I guess it has been so long since I first learned how to, you know, read basic words that I completely forgot about that. I completely forgot that, like, kids who are, like, you know, in kindergarten and grade 1 are just, like, they're still in the process of learning how to read. Right? So, it was like, I totally forgot about that. Like, they don't know how to read, and that's sort of normal for that age. 5-year-olds can't read. I mean, I guess it depends, because, like, for me, my parents were very adamant on getting me started on reading early. So, like, when I went into kindergarten, I already knew like, the alphabet and how to write my name, apparently. But, like, yeah, if I know that's not the case for everybody. So it's probably not even the case for most children. So I know that that's, like, yeah, like, I cannot remember a time before I could read. I know it existed, because obviously I wouldn't have gone through years of schooling if I was able to just read the whole time. But, like, I guess for 5-year-olds, it's like, many of them, like, know the alphabet. They can identify letters, but, like, if you give them, like, a page with words on it, they're probably not going to be able to, like, read it right off the bat, the same way, like, an older kid would be able to. 5-year-olds can barely balance a checkbook. They're still working on addition. Yeah, some conjunctions and appositives are probably still beyond them. Yeah, or even, like, words that are unfamiliar. Like, words that might not come up very often, right? But yeah, I also found that younger kids, again, maybe this is also just, like, a skill issue on my part, because I know this is the thing that some people like about working with younger kids, is that, like, I know people talk about, like, how kids' attention spans are, like, shorter and whatnot, and that's completely irrelevant to this conversation, because it's still true that, like, younger kids have shorter attention spans than older kids, right? This is true. This has always been true, right? So I've always found because, like, the key to, like, at least for as a camp counselor, right, the key to keeping a group of 5-year-olds happy is to be constantly moving to the next thing, right? Like, never do anything for more than, like, 30 minutes at a time, right? Not even that. You're probably, like, maybe even 20 minutes, right? So you gotta be, like, moving from thing to thing really quickly. And for me, I found that that was, like, the most stressful thing about working with younger kids, is that you have to be constantly coming up with new things to do, right? And sometimes, like, an activity that you thought would fill up, like, 20 minutes, the kids get tired after, like, 10 minutes, and then you have to, like, quickly think on your feet and come up with something else to do. That I found really, really stressful. So I found older kids, because they could, again, they could stick with one thing for longer. So it felt like, you know, you could get something going and then relax a little for, you know, because you know they're going to be at this for, you know, maybe like 25, 30 minutes. Like, you don't feel like you're constantly jumping from thing to thing to thing to thing to thing to thing, and you're like, oh god, what do we do next? We're out of games, we're out of songs, we're out of crafts. Or, like, we have too much time to do nothing, but we don't have enough time before our next thing to do anything. That was the stressful thing. That was always the stressful thing. Alright, we need one more person. One more person. How could they ever zhong with that attention span? I know, right? If you know what you're doing, you can do the switch without even changing the topic. Well, I mean, but it's different with talking versus actually doing things, right? Because, like, sometimes things require setup time or cleanup time, or, like, you know, you gotta get everybody to sit down for a moment in order to make this thing work, right? Yeah. I can hop in if you need to, Phil. Yeah, you can go ahead, if you'd like. Oh, okay, nope. We got somebody. We got a fourth. We got a fourth. Who's the girl with the eye patches and crazy eyes? I think she's from Kakegurui, I think? It was a previous Mahjong Soul collaboration, I think. Just add new rules every 20 minutes. Nah. Well, okay, actually, the other thing too, I think, is that there's also games that especially because, like, again, it was like an arts camp, so we did a lot of like theater improv games, which are really fun to do with the older kids and very difficult to do with the younger kids. Because younger kids very often have not figured out how subtlety works yet. I remember one of my favorite games to do with the older kids was something that was called press conference. So basically, you pick one person, that person leaves the room. While they're gone, everybody else in the room agrees on one person or like one character. So like it could be something like, usually it could be like a fictional character, it could be like a celebrity, it could be a like, you know, it could be like something broad, like a firefighter or something. And then so everyone agrees on one thing, and then the person who left the room comes back, and then they have to, essentially everybody in the room asks them questions to their character, and they have to answer sort of in character, but they don't know what their character is, and they have to eventually guess what their character is, right? So the problem is that, like, this works really well with older kids because both they're way better at thinking on the fly, I guess, but also they're way better at coming up with subtle questions that don't instantly give the thing away. But younger kids struggle with this a bit more. So, like, for instance, like, if the character was that everybody agreed upon was like Elsa from Frozen, like the older kids might ask something like, you know, how is your relationship with your sister, right? Something that's like a clue but doesn't like totally give it away, whereas the younger kids would be like, how did it feel when you ran away from the castle and then built a big castle out of snow that was magic, that it was your magic? They have not learned subtlety yet. That's like a thing that you don't learn until you're like at least 8 years old. Sounds like a Jackbox game. Honestly, it probably could be. But that's the thing, is that you have to answer in, like, you have to give an answer. If you're the person who is guessing, you have to give an answer. And some of the answers people would come up with were funny. I'm trying to remember, I can't remember who the answer was, but I remember there was this one kid where, like, people were asking, they're like, how's your marriage? And she was like, I'm getting a divorce. Like, again, you just have to be able to, like, think on your feet. Like, this game is excellent with 8 to 12-year-old group. Like, the older kids, very good. Younger kids, not quite. I don't know, though, because I remember playing it once with a group of, like, 5 and 6-year-olds, and, like, they were terrible at it, but also they really enjoyed it. So I guess maybe all that matters is that they're having fun. Did you work at a camp? Yes. This was many years ago, though. This was, like, I think the first time I worked... Well, I started volunteering there, and then they eventually had me on as, like, a paid position. So I think I started in when I was in high school, and then I kept doing it until like 2019, I think. Yeah, I think I didn't go back. I didn't go back after 2020. I don't know if I could go back. It was. I mean, maybe there's like a part of me that's just poorly suited for it, but also maybe the circumstances were just not the best. Look at her, how easy she gets jobs. This was like 7 years ago. Even more than that. And it was only in the summer. No, it's one of those things where I think the circumstances need to be good, because otherwise, I don't know. If the kids are having a bad time, and then the parents, it's gonna make the parents have a bad time. And if the parents are having a bad time, they're gonna give you a hard time, and then you're gonna have a bad time. So it's one of those things where it's like, if the circumstances are bad, everything gets like 80% more difficult. Employed with such a strong life stage. Look, I had a job interview today, okay? If things go well, I could be employed again soon. Did you get threatened by the parents? Not necessarily threatened, but, like, I think the lesson I've learned is that many parents do not know their children as well as they think they do. I think, the lesson. I can't say we would get threatened, but we definitely get sometimes complaints. whether those complaints were valid was situation dependent, but yeah. Will the interview be successful? I don't know. The interview today, actually, at the end, they asked me, they're like, how do you think you did on this interview today? Which is like the first time I think I've been asked that, like, during an interview. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. I don't know if that's a good sign or a bad sign. My little Timmy is an angel. I mean, sometimes you had things like that. I think the other thing, too, is sometimes it's not just that, like, kids act differently when the parents aren't around, but I think it's also sometimes, like, the parents' perception of the behavior. Because we've definitely had kids where the parents are like, you know, they're a little shy, but, like, you know, they'll come out of their shell, and then, like, from, you know, moment one, the kid is, like, extremely loud and social and talking all the time. And then sometimes you also have the opposite, where they're like, you know, they're a little rowdy, don't be scared to be strict with them, and then the kid is, like, a perfect angel the entire time. So sometimes, like, you get things like that. Or, we had one... There was one kid I remember once, because it was for like a musical theater camp, I think. And this kid's mom dropped him off and was like, okay, he doesn't like singing, but he really likes dancing. And we're like, okay. And then the kid proceeded to like participate in all the singing stuff, and he refused to do any dancing. So we're like, I have no idea what that was about, but okay. Yeah. Eggy, do you like SAO? No, but they do have an event going on. Gauging your confidence and ability to self-reflect. Sounds like a standard question that indicates they don't hate you. Yeah, I mean, they seemed enthusiastic about me, but also I'm not sure... They said they were interviewing more people, so I don't know if I was the first interview, so if they just got, like, the best impression of me? I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. I never want to be too optimistic after a job interview because I feel like that's setting myself up for disappointment, you know? You know what? It's fine. It's fine. They're submitting training data to interview. No, it was an in-person. It was an in-person interview. They seemed to actually. I don't think they were. I don't think they seemed maybe not old-fashioned, but like they didn't exactly like. It was not a company that was attempting to be on the cutting edge of technology, I think. And the mid-upper end of Dunning-Kruger, knew enough to know you don't know everything. Well, I guess, I don't know. I think the answer I gave them was fairly confident, cautiously optimistic. I think that was the answer I gave them. Like, because, like, I don't know. I don't think I've ever come out of a... I don't think I've ever been able to, like, accurately assess how I've done in a job interview. Because there's definitely been jobs where, like, I came out of the interview and I'm like, oh, that was... I was terrible first impression, and then I get the job. Or there's been other times where, like, I'm like, yeah, I think I did well, and then I proceed to get rejected. So, sometimes. But, obviously they recorded. I don't think they did, actually. But, like, sometimes, I don't know, it's like, I guess also, too, there's been jobs where, like, I remember there was one job that I applied and interviewed for, and I didn't get it, and I was like, man. And then I guess I went on LinkedIn, and there was, like, a post from the guy who did get the job, and he was, like, it mentioned his qualifications and stuff, and he was so, like, ridiculously overqualified for this position that I'm like, okay, no wonder I didn't get that. I can't even be mad about that. I also, in that situation, if I was the hiring people, I also wouldn't have picked myself. Like, he was just, like, extremely qualified. So, yeah, sometimes there's just things that you can't control. You know, you can interview really well, and sometimes just somebody who is just objectively better than you will just come in and apply for the same thing, you know? Yeah, solid. Unless it's some super high charisma job like entertainment or sales. I guess it was like customer service, but it's not really sales. I'm not really like I'm working with people who are already buying the thing.
リーチです。
It doesn't want you to stop streaming so often. See, my problem is actually, if I get a job, my concern is actually not about whether I'll stop streaming. My concern is like, will I have time to go to the gym? That's actually more my concern with being employed, is actually the gym. Because, like, I mean, streaming, it's like, okay, I'm home anyway. But, like, the gym? You gotta be at the gym. And the gym's not that far from home, but, like, it is another place. Get efficient, bench press your clients, do push-ups on your lunch break. I don't know. I think my thing is, too, I know some people are like, just go before work. And I'm like, yeah, but, like, I would have to wake up so insanely early. Oh, I won? Sorry, I was yapping so hard I didn't even notice I won. Thank you, Punk Asian. Thank you, Blair. And thank you, Ampersandy, who I think this is the first time I've seen you here. Welcome, and thank you for playing. Go before work. Yeah, but then I have to wake up, like, super early. And I would have to, like... Because, like, if I go before work, I'm not gonna go to work sweaty, so I need to, like, shower, and then also, like, put on makeup if I want to be a cute and pretty girl at work. And then now I just have, like, a stinky bag with me the whole day. I guess maybe people with cars can do this. Maybe I guess you can keep your stuff in the car, so you're not, like, dragging your stinky bag on the bus and into your workplace. Take a shower in the gym. Yeah, but you're still gonna have, like, your sweaty clothes in a bag. Like... I forgot you're carless. Yeah. I don't have a car in the world. I'm car-free. I'm such a car-free individual. SAO, I didn't realize it was 2012 again. It is now. Until... When does this event end? It is now until May 12th at 1:59 p.m. UTC -7. It's 2012 until then. Just get 2 changes? 2 changes of what? So I can have them all in my bag? And they'll still be stinky? Just work at the gym. Just get a job at the gym. I mean, I don't know, working front desk for the gym maybe wouldn't be so bad. Like, the whole 13 years have been kind of going off the rails. We're doing a do-over. Yeah. It's like, the world actually ended in 2012, but we can start it over again. It's fine. We'll just load our save. We'll load our save. But yes! Yes, I think it is raid o'clock. It is raid o'clock. It is raid o'clock. Who can we raid? Soy Milk is playing Katamari? Is anyone else zhonging? I don't think anyone else is zhonging at this hour. Yeah, nobody else is really zhonging at this hour. Zhong hours are over. Yes. What is Soy doing? What is Soy doing? It says Katamari, but the title is not... Nope, okay, no, it's just literally Katamari. It's just Katamari. You know what? We can raid Soy. I think we raided Soy the other day, but also I really like Katamari. I really like Katamari. So we are raiding into... We're raiding into Katamari. It's fine. I like Katamari. It is silly. I recommend you all play Katamari Damacy. It is silly and fun. Very silly. Yes, thanks for the stream. Thank you for being here. And also thank you to Mahjong Soul for providing the resources to be able to get this. Thank you to Mahjong Soul Creator Initiative Program. So now I have more character. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But we are now raiding Soy. Thank you, Mahjong Soul, for being Mahjong Soul. For being Mahjong in our soul. We are going to raid soy milk, though. Raid. Soy milk. What's our raid gonna be? It's 2012. That's our raid message. It's 2012. It's 2012, everybody. It's 2012. Let's all, what were people doing in 2012? Let's all Gangnam Style and do the Harlem Shake, for it is 2012. But yes, I will be back, tomorrow. No, not tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow if I feel like it. But for sure Wednesday. For sure Wednesday I'll be back with Zelda. But right now, it is... I have to go slepwards. We're going bedwards. It's not that late, I guess. I never said I was going to bed. It's bedwards. So until then, thank you for being here. Thank you for being nice and good. Thank you for playing. Let's go to soy milk. And also, let's look at my end card. Au revoir!